We did.
All right, we're live. Let me write this down real quick. Back with another debate. It's a little late, but sorry. Today we're doing top 10 shocking moments of all time in wrestling history. Some would be a little bit predictable. I think we kind of know some off the top of our head. Some, we'll see what happens for some of them. Um, like always, we haven't done a top 10 in a while. I think we've been doing brackets and shit lately. But like always, we can always mix something. We'll come back to it if you guys want to come back to it. If you guys want to throw something out there, you can throw it out there. If you have any suggestions or anything off the top of your head, shocking moments means that you can mix a superstar's return or a shocking moment at the end of a match or a shocking moment during a match when somebody won. It could be anything. So anything you guys can think of, feel free to throw it out there. Let's go ahead introduce our guest. We'll start with Conrad, and then we'll go to Kyron.
What's happening, everybody? Conrad Cushman from Everything Pro Wrestling. Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans. Wait for it. For the fans. And also part of the Brainbuster Radio Network. Thank you for having me on once again, Malik.
And Triple H's biggest fan. Let's just mention that out there.
What's up? It's your boy Kyron Chase from Kyron Chase, and yeah, I'm just ready to start this list off.
All right. So let me see. There's no particular order in this, guys. You know that, right? No order.
Always.
So might as well just start with the unanimous one because we all know it's gonna be on here. So
and we were literally just talking about it before we even went live.
The streak ended. That's probably that's the most shocking one ever. If you ask me, that's my number one. But
yeah, it's my number one too. Like remember a few months ago,
streak ending. Brock ending the streak. WrestleMania 30. 2014. We all know this is like one of the things like you remember where you were at. You remember what the fuck you were doing. Like you remember everything about this night. So it's number one on my list. I remember it the other day, like watching like just like he hit that 3 count. When he hit that 3, I didn't even say nothing. I kind of stood there for a minute, like trying to figure out what was going on. Like, bro, did he really end the streak? That 21-1 sign came up. I was like, oh my god, he's ended the streak, bro. I didn't know how I felt about it, bro, because I like Brock Lesnar, but I also like the Undertaker. But I was like, bro, it's the streak, bro. Like, I don't want him losing at WrestleMania. I had mixed emotions about it. So, what do you guys think about this? It's on the list. Is it on your guys' list?
If you recall, we did like a top 10 shocking moments I think over a year ago, a few months ago. That was number one on my list, and I think it's the most shocking moment in WWE history, even to this very day. Yeah, it's on the list. I mean, like you said, we all remember where we were, who we were with, what we were doing, how we reacted when it happened. I think the end of the streak is definitely on this list.
I have nothing to say to that other than that is a great moment. Is it the most shocking moment? I don't know. That would depend on if you're going to put kayfabe and all that stuff into perspective with it. But that happening is absolutely nuts. Like, no one ever in their right mind believed that the Undertaker streak would end. Like, that was always the one thing you could count on. You were like, if I get all these other predictions wrong, there's one that I can count on. Undertaker wins. I got it.
I mean, I think there were always little matches where you kind of thought like, oh, this is going to be the year, but you never really believed like Taker not losing. Come on, lose at WrestleMania. Like the first time for me was the Streak versus Career. I was like, bro, Shawn Michaels really going to lose at WrestleMania, or is he going? He might win because I didn't know at the time. I didn't know he wanted to retire. You know what I mean? So I was like, bro, is Shawn Michaels really going to lose, or is he really winning? Like,
right. And there was the thought in your head too of could Shawn pull his old ways and say, I'll sign if and only if I beat Taker.
Exactly. So it's just like, I don't know, man. But I said that's number one for me is just because, like you said, nobody ever really thought Undertaker was going to lose at WrestleMania. You know what I mean? Like, this dude never lost at WrestleMania. I mean, I don't know, man. I never saw it happening, bro. When he lost, I was just like, man, like, imagine being Vince making that call. Like, all right, you know what? You're gonna have to lose. Like, you have to be comfortable with that. Like, all right, you know what? We're gonna end the streak today. Like, I think this is the year. This is the guy. This is the year. We're gonna go with it.
Yeah, and when you take into account
great moment,
and we take into account how broken down Undertaker looked at that time, Vince thought it was best to end the streak at that moment.
He thought it was best for that network to end that streak. Heck yeah, sign up for $9.99.
I didn't get the network for a whole year.
I mean, I guess should we all just run through one time what was happening in each person? Just
I guess.
What were you doing?
Yeah, I go for it. Oh, where was I? I was at my old house, right across the street from my high school. As a matter of fact. I was with my younger brother Kyrie, and I was with my cousin. and we were just sitting there watching it. Now, my cousin, he wasn't as involved with it as he used to be, but obviously knows about the Undertaker streak because who doesn't? And we're all watching it. We're not really enjoying the match, but we all had that feeling that Undertaker's gonna win. Brock hits the third F5. All right, we're just sitting there. Ref counts to 3. All three of us, our jaws hit the floor. No one said anything for a good 5 minutes, and we just looked at each other, and no one said anything. Literally, everyone else is in that stadium with reaction. That was my reaction as well.
Bro, I was watching it with my man Fred. We were downstairs at my old house watching it on the network. And when we were, and I was, this is when like I was a big Brock Lesnar fan, and like before, like I was hyping Brock up in the match because he hates Brock Lesnar, dude. He hates him so much, and I was like, bro, Brock's winning, and he's killing it tonight, whatever. But in my mind, I was like, take it out, WrestleMania, it's gonna happen, whatever. As Brock's coming down the ring, bro, I'm just looking at this dude. I'm like, bro, if anybody believable enough to beat the streak, bro, it's this dude. But it's like Taker's not losing at WrestleMania. I was like, in my mind at the time, I was like, how is he gonna beat? Because Taker was in really bad shape at that time, so I was like, how is he gonna be believable enough to beat Brock? Like, what is he gonna do? Like, is something screwy gonna happen? I was trying to figure out the finish of this match, whatever. He picks him up for that third F5, and then when he hit the third F5, I'm like, bro, this is number 3. Like, I knew this is number 3. I was counting. I was like, this is number 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm like, I stood up. Like, we both stood up. Like, we both kind of stood up. Like, what? Like, we kind of stood there for a minute. I'm like, standing there, bro. I didn't say anything. I kind of thought maybe something would happen. I was like, oh, they're going to restart or something. Like, something's going to restart. When that 21-1 sign came up, I was like, oh, my God, bro. He really did the streak, bro. The rest of that WrestleMania, bro, that's like all I could think about, bro. It was like, bro, he really ended the streak. Like, the streak really ended. Like, the streak is really over. I had mixed emotions, but I still don't know how I feel about it. Still to this day, bro, I still don't know how I feel about it.
And for me, I was just a classic great fan, you know? I was happy. I knew what was going to happen. Humbled. I was like, oh, I can't wait for the next match. Yeah. So what was that? I'm lying. All right. So I was mad. I'm bitter. Shawn Michaels lost to The Undertaker. So from that year forward, after 26, I wanted The Undertaker to lose or something to happen. So during that time period, we're all sitting there watching, me, big group of my friends. As we sit there, we're watching the event, and then all of a sudden, third F5 happens. I'm like, yo, it's over right here. There's no way this man kicks out of this. 1, 2, and I'm like, it's over right here. I said 3 before it even happened. 3. As soon as that happens, everybody looks at me like they were going to kill me. I think I heard someone say, I'm going to kill you. And I was like, yo, I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't know that was going to happen. And they're sitting there and they were like, dude, did they really just end the Undertaker streak? And I was like, I don't know. And this silent, complete silence throughout. And never in the history of pro wrestling have I ever heard somebody say, yo, rewind that back while the show is live. If someone was like, rewind that back to make sure the ref really counted 3. Was this all right? And it wasn't until that 21-1 sign came up that I was like, yo, it's over, guys. Like, it's done. He went back up the ramp, and I'll never forget that picture of Brock with his arm up like this next to Heyman, with his hand like this, and I did it. I thought it was a cool moment, man. Personally, Emily, doesn't that remind you of when they were at the UFC event? You remember that?
Oh, at the when Brock had that fight and he won, and they were like Taker was in the crowd.
Like, you want to do this?
Yeah.
I always wonder, like, did they know back then?
I don't, bro. I started mixed emotions about it, bro. Like I said, I like Brock Lesnar. I'm like, bro, because he's really believable. Like, if he's gonna beat the streak, this guy's really believable to do it. But it's like, bro, the Undertaker loses at WrestleMania. It's like, I don't know, bro. I don't know how I feel about it, bro. I was just like, man, I still got mixed emotions about it. Like, I don't know, man. I really don't know how I feel about it, bro. I still haven't gone back and watched that match to this day, bro. I can't even go back and watch it. I think what bothers me is that the match wasn't really good as itself, because Taker got pretty messed up in the beginning of the match with the concussion and everything. And it's the fact that he came back afterwards for the match, and then he lost to Roman too. I was like, oh man, like, he just keeps coming back time and time again. I always felt like Taker was either gonna retire when he got 25-0 or the streak ended. One of the two. Like, he's gonna retire one of the two. It would only make sense. 25-0, nothing else to prove. It was 25-0 at WrestleMania, or the streak ends, nothing else for him to fight for anymore. But it's just like he keeps. I don't know. I feel like it hurts his legacy a little bit. This is me personally, but it's just like I don't know. Let me ask you this: would you have had a bigger problem if Roman ended the streak than Brock?
Oh, that'd have been worse. At least for fan reaction.
I think it would have been okay.
I'm not talking about. I'm talking about you personally. Like you personally, would you personally have been like, oh, you know what? I don't mind Roman ending the streak, whatever, because it definitely would have elevated.
I'm not a Roman Reigns hater though. I'm one of the. I probably lose people on podcasts and YouTube videos when I say I like Roman Reigns. I don't.
Yeah, I like Roman Reigns too.
Yeah, I think Roman's good for the.
I don't hate him. I don't hate Roman. Granted,
But I'm saying like between him and Brock, say Roman ended the streak at that WrestleMania of the year. How would you have felt like? Oh, because you know how Roman was getting really pushed and everything.
So you're
like,
saying
oh,
let's pretend the streak continued until 33 then?
Yeah, and then Roman was the one that beat the streak.
Oh,
I'd be okay.
I'd have been honored to be in person for the end of the streak.
I think if you still did the part where Taker takes off the hat and everything else, that would have really meant something. I don't know why they did that. Like that, maybe that saved backlash on Roman.
No, it didn't.
Maybe he thought he was. I don't know. Maybe he really wanted to retire. I don't know, dude. We don't ever know. I mean, honestly, I think if Roman had beat Taker that year and he ended the streak, say Roman was gonna beat the streak, and people would have lost their shit because they were already booing Roman Reigns at the time anyway. So
I was there.
Roman beats the streak, right? And then Taker does the thing afterwards, bro. That would have elevated Roman's career. Like that would have did some. Even though he was still gonna be a star, that would have been like crazy. Like, hey, I ended the streak. Like I don't know. And he's full time, so he's not like Brock Lesnar, you know, like one of the parents and everything like that. So it's like, I don't know. That one, I think I would have liked it more, honestly, if Roman had it done. To be honest, I think because I think it'd have been better for a younger superstar like him to kind of do it. It's, him beating him still was, you know, it was still a pretty big deal because it was the second time. But it was a little bit more predictable, you know what I mean? Because I said Roman was going to win it. I said Roman was winning this match. He's winning this match. So, I mean, I think it'd have been a lot more predictable. But I think it hurts Taker that, you know, his matches aren't good anymore, man. Like, the great match he had was with CM Punk. Other than that, man, his matches just, they don't – he can't do what he used to do anymore, you know what I mean? It just hurts.
I mean, I say his 2015 matches with Lesnar were good. Yes.
Yeah, the one he had, the Hell in a Cell match he had was pretty good too, and the one at SummerSlam was pretty good. But it's just like, it just hurts to still see him wrestle. You know what I mean? Like it's just like they got him and Goldberg at Saudi Arabia. Okay, well they're both these guys are old as shit. They're in their 50s. One is Goldberg. I can't even name a Goldberg match off the top of my head that's been like a legendary match. I'm like, damn, this is a Goldberg match that's legendary. You know what I mean? Like off the top of my head, that's like Show Stealer Goldberg match. Taker obviously he hasn't had one since 2013, so it's like, bro, it's like. I don't know why he continues to wrestle, man. I don't know if it's because of Vince or if he just wants to still or not. But I mean, the streak ending is definitely on my list. I have it number one on my list of all time, but no debates there. Let's move on. Do you have any? Is there one you want to suggest that you think should be on here?
Yeah, about the Montreal Screwjob.
Oh man,
We think about Montreal Screwjob.
it's still talked about to this day.
Yeah,
At like nauseum even. I'm kind of over it too, but
well, it's easy for you to get over. You're a Shawn Michaels fan.
well, not even that though. It's been talked about so much. Is it a work? Is it real? Is it this? Is it that? We'll never know. And it changed kind of the course of professional wrestling too, as far as Vince as a character, how his company was going to be ran. Yeah, I think you have to put it on there because I don't think after hearing it while it happened, being alive during that time as a fan, I didn't order that pay-per-view, but I remember everyone talking about some bullshit went down with Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. Vince McMahon coming out there and he did something. He told Earl to ring the bell, and all my friends at school, it sounded like there was some controversy with it. And we don't know who's the champ really because someone rang the bell that wasn't supposed to. You didn't get finishes like that ever in wrestling. It was always kind of legitimate. This guy won at the end. And nobody really knew back then. I didn't know about dirt sheets and Bret Hart was probably leaving until he motioned the WCW thing and I saw it the next night. And they said Bret's leaving. And I was like, what? I think it's a crazy moment to think that Bret Hart, someone who was so beloved, always worked hard for the company, would get screwed because of the situation that was presented, which is a whole nother story in and of itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, who do you think? What you think should go on the list?
Yeah, I have it on my list. I mean, I wasn't around then, but I mean, shocking moment. I think it's definitely up there because people, you see people's reaction. People kind of didn't really know what was going on at that time. So it's like, what the hell? And he did it in the sharpshooter too. So it was like, you put him in the sharpshooter, bell rung, like, what the hell just happened? Like, people were confused. So I definitely think it has to be on the list for mine. I have it on my personal list. Conrad, is the one you want to throw out there?
Oh man, I'm trying to think of.
See, I have a whole list in my hand, so it's a lot I have.
Truly shocking.
Well, what about this one? I don't know if it'll be on the list, but I mean, what about when Hogan beat Andre?
It's really shocking considering the fact that I think it was pretty obvious Hogan was going to win that match. Granted, I wasn't around back then, so.
I'm talking about people around back then. Andre the Giant was undefeated for 15 years, so.
Well, he wasn't, but that's the storyline was.
That just goes to show you how regional wrestling was. I'm trying to think. You know what? We could talk about CM Punk's pipe bomb. I think that was a shocking moment.
That's on my list. I was gonna bring. That's on my list.
That's definitely up there. I remember watching that live. I remember watching that actually live too. Like
Me too.
Raw live.
CM Punk cutting that promo. I actually fell asleep right before. I don't remember. I worked a hard shift, and I think at the time I was still working at like 4:00 in the morning and stuff. So I was tired. I hadn't taken a nap at all. I was like, man, I'm knocked out. This Raw is boring. It was a 3-hour Raw with Stone on it as the host. I remember.
Yeah, I think it was an episode of Raw Roulette, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, and there were a lot of good moments on that Raw. I remember the whole, can you say the alphabet backwards? I could whip your ass backwards. And
that's hilarious.
Yeah, there was some good stuff in there throughout. And then when CM Punk showed up on the stage afterwards, because someone woke me up out of my sleep, they said, bro, I know he's your favorite. You have to go back and watch what CM Punk said. And I was like, what could he had said? And they didn't want to ruin it for me. They were like, go back and watch this, dude. I'm telling you. And absolutely, like, all the stuff he said is stuff that's like, you're not supposed to say that. You can't say that. And he said hello to Colt Cabana, which they never called him that on WWE television. One day this company's gonna get taken over by your what did he say?
Idiot son, idiot daughter, and doofus son-in-law.
Dude, CM Punk just went off. He's one of my favorites. I don't know how you guys felt about it. You guys watched it live, so you could probably discuss it better than me, how you felt when it happened.
All right. You want to go, Malik? You want me to go first?
You can go.
Well, take into account, I was 11 years old at the time, so I don't have the mindset I have now. And I was a John Cena fan, and knowing he was going to face Punk in a few weeks. But even watching it live, it's like, even though I didn't truly, get the gist of it and understand it, because I wasn't just an 11-year-old kid, I got where Punk was coming from. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't understand it, but I still understood it in another way. Like, I understood he was frustrated. I understood he wanted to make a change. And I guess I didn't like get every word. Looking back at it now as a 19-year-old, I actually listen to every single word and 100% agree and kind of feel the same way, and even feel like that. But back in the time, I thought it was still like crazy, and it didn't feel like it's part of the script. It felt real. That's just how I thought about it back then.
I mean, it was definitely wild. I mean, I remember watching live. I think I was 14 at the time, so I remember watching. I'm like, he was dropping bombs and stuff like that. Like, he's saying stuff he wasn't supposed to say. I'm kind of like, whoa, like talking about, Vince this company's gonna be better off when Vince is dead and everything. I'm like, oh my bro, is he really supposed to be saying this stuff? Then they cut his mic off, and that's when I was like, oh man, he really just went out. He really just snapped, bro.
Here's the question, Malik. You remember when they cut his mic off? Because I do. It wasn't that. But what most video packages want to show you is it was when he said Vince McMahon is like the company might be better than Vince is dead. That's when they make you seem like he turned his mic off. No, they turned the mic off because toward the end he said, and I'm quoting him. And let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon. See, you got this whole anti-bullying campaign, and they just turned the mic off right there. He was ready to expose some serious dirt on that one.
Yeah, he's about to spill all the tea on that, bro. All the tea, bro. He's about to say some crazy shit. So you guys have it on the list.
It's on my list.
Yeah.
All right. Let me write it down real quick. All right. So we got 3 so far that we all have. What about I don't how do you guys feel about when I remember watching live too, so this is pretty shocking to me about with the Nexus debut. That shit was crazy when I remember watching that live.
That was pretty insane to me as well. Like I never thought that the Nexus would like join together as a group because NXT was a separate show at the time. So who would have ever thought that all those people would have just came together and been like, we could all debut together and jump everyone on the roster and tear up the ringside area. That was very different. I thought it was a good way to debut people, to have them just tear shit to everything. Whether Justin Roberts' shirts ripped off, the announcers' tables were broken, all the chairs around the ringside area were flipped upside down, the ropes were broken. Like you had never seen anything like that. And do we remember whose match they interfered in?
Yeah,
John Cena, CM Punk.
Just a little sweet caveat there, I always thought. But that was straight edge society CM Punk too, for the record.
Yeah, I think he had the mask on at the time.
Yeah, he still had that mask on.
Yeah. Sad days. But yeah, I think that's a really good moment too.
It was definitely shocking because that was one of the first times, and really I think even now for a long time where Raw ended and you were thinking, what the hell just happened? Like no one knew what happened, no one knew what was going on. And I think it worked better for those who didn't watch NXT. Like who are these guys? Like I had caught the last few episodes of NXT, so I knew who they were. Granted, I don't address the original NXT because it was garbage, but like that was the first time, especially when you look back at it now. Now, granted, when again at the time when I was 10 at the time. I was just watching the Raw every week regardless. If that happened today now, I would make sure I tuned in the Raw next week to see what's going on. I think it's on the list. I have a lot more stuff to talk about, so I think we should put we might put it on the maybes and get back to it because I think there's a lot of other shocking stuff we can talk about too.
Cameron, how do you feel about that?
I can agree with that.
So put it on the maybe. I'm gonna put it down for the maybes.
Yeah, because there's so much shocking stuff. It's stuff I still need to bring. It's stuff I need to bring up too.
Nexus debut. Okay, I got that one. Which one you want to bring up? You bring up another one, Kyron.
Damn, which one can I pick? Okay, now me and Malik weren't around for this, but Conrad, I'm pretty sure you were. What about Pillman's got a gun? Or Pillman pulled a gun on a handgun on Steve Austin.
That is a very, very interesting one.
Cause think about it, this was right around the time, right before the Attitude Era started, and they were still getting over 95 and till less than 96. I think was this at the tail end of 96 or beginning of 97? I think in the 96, as a matter of fact. And I remember because I never heard about this. I had a History of Monday Night Raw DVD, and I remember when and I watched it, my jaw hit what in the world? And then Austin beat up his friends, broke in his house, and then just held the gun, fired a gun, and they went to commercial, and they came back. Vince asked if anyone got shot. It's that type of stuff that you would never see that nowadays. And I'm pretty sure because the Attitude Era hadn't started yet, this was shocking to a lot of people. And the fact that they had to apologize to stay on USA Network, I think it even holds more weight because that's how shocking it was. It could have gotten them put off TV.
Yeah, that was a crazy ass moment. I remember watching it live with Stone Cold beating up the football players. It had you in anticipation all night though to see what happens. Like when he showed up to his house, and then when you start hearing the glass break, you're like, "Oh shit, it's going down." And then when Brian Pillman pulled it out, he was like, "Pillman 9mm." I was like, "Whoa! When did we start introducing guns into wrestling?" Just wild, man.
So you have it on the list. Kyron has it on his list, obviously. What about you?
I would put it in the maybes too, but I'm definitely thinking that's going to probably wind up on there as well.
Especially because that's one thing. I mean, maybe something like Nexus might happen again, even though it wouldn't have the same type of impact. But you'll never see Pillman's got a gun again.
All right. Put that down. Conrad, what you want? You want to throw someone out there?
Yeah, hold on. I got one. Let me see which one I want to use. Let's talk about Eric Bischoff.
It's on my.
Night Raw.
It's on my. It's literally number 2 on my list.
I don't know if you guys were watching during this time period, but Eric Bischoff showed up on Monday Night Raw, and I'll never forget that they were trying. He was rumored ever since the Invasion storyline to be out there, and Bischoff finally was coming out because Vince was teasing that he was getting a new GM for Monday Night Raw, and when you debut someone, the music hits, and you're like, well, who is this guy or what's going on? Nobody knew until they literally did that segment right before where he walks by Booker T and you hear the voice and you're like, Eric Bischoff? And Booker T was like, tell me I did not just see that. I remember it. And then when you hear the music, it's Eric Bischoff. And he came out and him hugging Vince. The guy who said he was going to whip Vince McMahon's ass when he was in WCW is now on stage with Vince a year later after WCW closes. I just never thought we would see it.
I think that's on the list too for everything you said, Conrad. Because I mean, like I said, I wasn't around back then, but Vince, like Jerry Lawler, I think said it best on commentary. I said next to Mr. McMahon on commentary, he was deaf upon Eric Bischoff at times, and now he's not only is he the general manager of Raw, but he's up there hugging Vince McMahon. I'm pretty sure people in the late '90s thought nothing like that would ever happen. Yeah, I think it's on the list. Like I said, it's number 2 on my personal list. And like I say, I think it hurts the fact that I was only 2 years old when it happened, and even to a less extent, I wasn't even around for the Attitude Era that probably understand it. But I think it's definitely on the list.
I have it on my list too, so I already wrote it down. That's 4 so far. So we have 4.
Anything you want to bring up, Malik? Because me and Conrad keep bringing up everything. How about
what about I had this on my list. I don't have it about it. What about Brock Lesnar's return, 2012? I have it on my list because I never thought he was coming back to WWE, to be honest.
See, I have another debut or return that's I think even a little bit more shocking. Well, it depends on how you look at it, but I think with Brock, especially because I wasn't reading Bleacher Report and Dirt Sheets at the time, so I just remember because being like the crowd chanting, "We want Lesnar." I'm like, why are they chanting that? And I remember when Brock's music hit, I literally couldn't believe it because I never thought I'd see Brock Lesnar in WWE again because of the way the falling out and everything like that. I don't know if it's as shocking as some of the other ones, but I think it definitely deserves a maybe right now.
I think for what it was during that time period, I had already knew at that point that Brock Lesnar's coming back, and yeah, there's not too much else that you can do about it. You just knew that he was coming back. Like there was no other way that anything else was happening. I don't know. He couldn't wrestle in UFC anymore, fight in UFC. He was done with that. He just needed a change. So coming back to WWE made sense. It was his home. It's a great moment, I think, but is it shocking enough? I would say it's not for a top 10. So I'm kind of on the fence about it. I mean, if you two want to put it on the back burner.
I mean, I'm on the fence on it too. I mean, just for me alone, it was shocking because I never thought it would happen. But then again, I wasn't reading Dirt Sheets, so I'm pretty sure it seemed obvious. Like
that's probably the biggest difference too with knowing what you guys knew back then. Like if you guys knew about Dirt Sheets and stuff, then it makes sense to me.
I didn't read Dirt Sheets, so I never thought he's coming back to wrestle. I didn't think he liked WWE. So I was like, he's never coming back because they fell on shit. I know he didn't love wrestling like everybody else does. I know he didn't want to do full time shit. So I was like, he's never gonna come back. I knew he had the diverticulitis stuff, but like I thought he was just gonna get better and then go back to fight UFC again.
Yeah, I think at best we should put on the back burner for now.
I have another. I have a couple. I think I have another return too on my list.
I have a return / debut, depending on what you think about it. And I'm not gonna bring this one to the topic. What about Sting at Survivor Series 2014? Now, yes, it was all over the internet. It was all over Dirt Sheets. But even though I kind of knew Sting was coming, and even that night, it was too shocking because Sting forever was known as the guy that never worked for Vince McMahon. And see him come out that night, I legitimately I was shocked. Like I was like, oh my god, it's Sting. Even though I knew he was coming, it was still a big moment, especially him being face to Triple H. I think Sting's debut is more shocking than Brock's return.
Now, the catalyst for that return was what I believe was from the video game, right? Was that 2K15 when he was the character?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
it
on
was
the video
15.
game.
Yeah, and that's a dope commercial, by the way.
It is.
Game, not so much.
No,
But
the game was garbage.
so Sting coming out is a shocking moment. I think there's another return that I might put over it. So this is probably going to go in the maybes for me. Dolph Ziggler winning was shocking because that was probably the last time I cared about Dolph Ziggler. Not to be disrespectful, but WWE beat it out of me like to stop caring about the guy.
I think the last time I cared about him was that feud with The Miz. That was the last time I cared about Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, that restored a little bit, but not enough.
Nah.
But Sting, I don't know, Malik, what did you think of Sting coming back?
I mean, I wouldn't have it on my list because we all kind of knew, so it was like, I don't know. It was shocking, whatever, but it was like I wasn't surprised because I was like, he's gonna come. He's coming to WWE eventually. So I just didn't know when he was coming. But we knew after that commercial happened and everything. I was like, he's coming to WWE. It's either now or never. It's either now or never. So it's like we just didn't know when he was coming. But when he came, I was like, oh my god, Sting, whatever. But it was like it'd have been crazier, I think, if they didn't put him in the video game and then he just showed up out of nowhere and it was like, oh, I think it'd have been a lot better. It'd have been a lot more crazier because people would have kind of not really expected what was going on and stuff.
But here's the thing, Malik, to go back to Lesnar, I mean, obviously didn't have the same hype, but technically Lesnar was in the WWE game right before he came back too. Like he was in the game WWE 12, right? Like they came up
Those
just a
video
few.
games were the catalyst to a lot of returns. Is my point.
Yeah.
Like he came back a few months right after he was, back in WWE 12.
But I didn't think about that back then. Though. I don't know. I just never thought he would come back. I just never thought he was gonna come back to wrestling because you would hear interviews about him saying like, I never was a fan of wrestling and shit like that. I did it for the money and all stuff like that. So you never really thought. I was like, well, he's never. I just never. He's never really gonna come back and stuff like that. So I just never thought he would come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think.
But we could put Sting on the maybes for now.
Yeah.
For me, at least.
Yeah, I think so. Conrad, you said you had another return. Which one do you have?
You got to go in the Wayback Machine for mine.
I'm listening.
1992, WrestleMania 8.
Oh, no.
The Ultimate Warrior coming back with something I never in my life expected to see happen. If you guys go back and watch the main event of Hogan with Sid and Papa Shango.
Why would you want to?
Huh?
Why would you want to watch that? Go back and rewatch that match, though.
You don't because of all the botches, but they are funny too, to the extent where Papa Shango misses the cue, kick out of the leg drop, whatever. So then they get Hogan in the ring and they start beating him down, and then all of a sudden you hear that riff to the Ultimate Warrior's theme song. And you're like, nah, he ain't coming back. The people in Indianapolis stood up and they were like, hold up. And I was like, yo, the Ultimate Warrior's back. Even as a little kid, dude, I was like, there is no way. And I think that's why the dirt sheets hurt some of those other things that you guys are talking about, because you don't get that reaction that you want.
You still get it, but not. I tell
not
you,
like that though.
Yeah, but if we're talking like comebacks, and once again, maybe it was on the dirt sheets, but once again, I didn't read. I wasn't reading, especially this time. Like I was young with Lesnar. I was even younger here. Malik, you probably already know what all I'm gonna say is Royal Rumble 2008. And John Cena's return that night.
See, I don't know, bro. I said he was coming back that night too, bro. It was weird, man. I just like he's coming back.
I didn't. I was a 7-year-old. I didn't know.
I mean, I wasn't reading dirt sheet, but I was like, bro, he's coming back at the Rumble, bro. Maybe because I was a big John Cena fan. I was just like, he's gonna come back. He's coming back.
See, I was a big John Cena fan. I still am. But the thing is, when they said how John's gonna be out for multiple months, and really as much as build as Triple H got, I thought Triple H was winning the Royal Rumble. So, but when I heard when number 30 came out and John Cena's music hit, I completely lost it. I'm not gonna like I didn't. That's probably one of my favorite Royal Rumble moments in general. Like, I think that's more shocking because I don't even think because it's like, and taking account was in New York, one of the most like hardcore fans, like they know everything, and I don't think they knew Cena was coming out because you listen to the pop when his music hit. I think that's why you could say, well, Cena's got a legitimate reaction because no one saw it coming.
That was a good one too, though, at that Royal Rumble because, bro, it's so funny too. If you have ever watched the reactions live, so number 30 hits, you hear Cena's music, and then everybody's like, "Oh my god!" Watch the guys in the front row. They're like, "Oh, that's my guy! That's my guy! Cena's back! Cena's back!" And then literally by the time he gets into the ring,
They start booing him.
Wait a minute, we're not supposed to like him. Boo! Come on, Triple H.
Who are you rooting for in that situation, Conrad? Who are you rooting for? Cena, Triple H. You got to tell me.
Can Umaga get us a push?
No. When it came down to the final two, I want to know who you're rooting for.
Triple H.
You were rooting for
No, I'm lying. I don't want to say Hey, dude, they're my two like arch nemesis at the time that I really didn't like. But I'm not gonna lie, I was one of those people.
Right, I mean, you talk about a shocking moment. You talk about a shocking moment, though. I didn't expect Randy Orton to win at that WrestleMania main event, though.
That was shocking.
That
was shocking. No one thought.
Yeah, bro. I thought Cena was winning.
I had Orton winning that back then.
I thought Cena was winning.
No, they always loved Randy Orton enough that he was gonna get that chance back when he lost it from Triple H, or as I like to put it, when Triple H snatched it from him. But let me stop.
You talk about arch nemesis, man. You do not like Triple H.
But I really feel like Randy Orton had to win that match because he was an established guy, and I always felt that he could be your top guy if you wanted him to be.
But out of those three, you predicted Randy Orton was going to be Triple H and John Cena.
You know damn well you did not think Randy Orton was winning that match.
I did think that. Here's why. Randy Orton was always looked at as one of their top guys, groomed. And I said that Cena's already over, Triple H is already over. Triple H had always talked about putting this kid over. And I was like, and John Cena just came back from injury. Why would he win?
Because he was coming back from
because he's the face of the company.
He didn't need it, though, at the time.
He didn't need it.
Plus, you knew he was going to get the belt back eventually. He never lost it.
But I felt at that time, too, they were phasing him out because blame it on the Jeff Hardy stuff, too, a little bit. Jeff Hardy was on the rise during that time because what was the WWE title match for that Royal Rumble show? Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy.
And that was a good-ass match.
And that was the beginning of, Jeff Hardy could be the guy.
And Jeff was going to win Money in the Bank that night when he got suspended.
I really didn't believe Randy Orton was going to win that. I didn't know he was going to win with the
Triple H pedigree, Cena. Then Orton came, kicked Triple H off, pinned Cena for 3 seconds, and Triple H got up.
It was like that was the beginning of the punt kick, kind of.
No, that wasn't the beginning of it. The beginning of it happened already, but that was
the beginning of that. That's when he started doing the Age of Orton stuff.
That's when he started doing the Age of Orton stuff. But then it's funny because he ended up losing the title to Triple H the next month in my hometown of Baltimore.
Yeah, that's fine and dandy, whatever. But didn't he get Legacy afterwards after that too?
I think it was about a year.
The next year. Because remember, because Randy broke his collarbone at that pay-per-view One Night Stand, and he was gone for a minute. He came back with the tattoos, the sleeve tattoos and stuff.
Yeah,
so he came back with those sleeve tattoos, and he changed his theme, and he started doing the whole Viper stuff. That's when I really got into Randy Orton. That's when I really started getting into Randy Orton. Like, all right, this I really like to do now.
I prefer Legend Killer Randy Orton. It's funny how we bring up all these shocking moments, and yet I think we all have them all in the maybe for now.
All right, what about, how did you guys feel about, again, I wasn't reading Dirt Sheets back then, so I didn't know. The Rock returned 2011 when he was like the host of WrestleMania, and then his music hit and he came out and everybody was like, oh, it's The Rock.
Oh, The Rock coming back.
I thought that was very well done. I love how, so you know how Monday Night Raw usually shows up and they have the car kind of come up and they're like, this is the host of WrestleMania. And you're like, the host? What the heck is this? And then they had the woman's shoes show up.
I remember that.
And I was like, oh, it's a chick. And then in your head, you're like, well, who is it? Mickey James? Is it so-and-so? Like, I can't remember who wasn't there at the time. You're like, maybe it's Trish. And then all of a sudden, when I saw the electricity flowing through, I'm like, nah. If you smell the Rock, I was like, oh my God. Dude, those moments are what you live for as a wrestling fan. You're running through the house like, yo, everybody turn on Monday Night Raw. The Rock's back. My dad's like, The Rock? You mean? And I'm like, The Rock, turn it on.
Bro, I don't know. That's on my list too, bro. I remember watching it. But I did peep the little electricity stuff. Cause I was like, look, they did the little electricity
I didn't pay attention to that.
I was like,
I did not pay attention.
I was like, what? And then he said, if you smell. I was like, oh, snap, it's The Rock. Rock came out, and then bro, then he started ripping on John Cena, bro. I was like, oh my
When he started
god,
ripping on John Cena, I got so happy because that was like the ultimate dream match for me. I said, "Oh my god, we go get the match I want to see."
I don't know. I wasn't reading dirt sheets back then, so I didn't know. I had no idea. Like I had no idea that was happening.
That wasn't in the dirt sheets though. It was kind of a, you know how you hear like, oh, this is rumor, but you're like, I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah.
Right. But you gotta think Rock is big in Hollywood, so it's like Rock coming back. You probably like, yeah.
And you've heard the Rock's coming back how many times? Rock's coming back to face Roman Reigns. Rock's coming back at WrestleMania to fight Brock Lesnar. We've heard these things, but they haven't happened. So you're right.
I think of all our returns we mentioned, I think Rock does have to be here because it's funny because I didn't scream for the little fact that everyone else in the house was sleeping, so I didn't want to wake nobody up. But literally, I couldn't believe it because I never thought I'd see The Rock in WWE again. He was too big in Hollywood, but when he started ripping on John Cena, I said the dream match is gonna happen. Yeah, I think we gotta put The Rock on this list. I think we gotta put that on the list.
I would have it on my list.
It's not on my list because I forgot
That's a
about
good
it.
sleeper one though. I'm not gonna front.
Yeah, I think we should put it on the list though, even though it's not on my list. It's like we all I think we all pretty much lost that shit when that happened.
Kyron, you think it should be on the list or you think it should be on the back burner?
I would say maybe for the purpose of putting it there. I don't know if it's list ready yet, but I think this could be one that sneaks in that people weren't expecting.
Yeah, I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
I mean, you talk about returns, bro. That was like a big one.
And I didn't even have it on my list. Like I
Sorry,
forgot.
Another one, a big return that I don't know. I was still a kid. I wouldn't have it on my list, but the Chris Jericho one in 07. I didn't see
Wait
it
a
happen
minute.
either.
Time out. Did we dismiss my Ultimate Warrior one?
I thought we said we put it on the maybe.
Okay.
It's in the maybes.
All right.
I think Jericho's in 2007 at the time. Like I thought it was crazy too, but now I don't think it's not. I wouldn't even put it on the maybe now.
I like that return, but it amounted to nothing, and I think it was kind of for one night. You were kind of just like, oh, it's cool to have Jericho back, because I remember the dirt sheets kind of speculating about him during that time period. But to me, that's not the one I would bring up.
For Jericho?
I think Jericho in 2000 is probably one of the last genuine reactions for people knowing. I didn't have it back then, but Chris Jericho was a big freaking deal in WCW. To me, when he came out and they had that whole Y2K clock, did you guys ever watch the build up to this? Please tell me yes.
Yeah. I know about the build up. I didn't watch it, but I know about the build up.
So there was a countdown clock for weeks that kept popping up, and it was Jericho's, like, you know how his intro used to be like the barrel countdown. It was doing that, but it had hours, days, and everything else lined up perfectly. And Rock was in the middle of the ring, like you weren't thinking about it during the show. The time frame, they're like, tonight something's gonna happen. And you're watching Raw, you get excited for a match, something happens, oh, bra and panties. And then all of a sudden, the countdown clock starts going off, and The Rock's in the middle of the ring, and The Rock's the hottest superstar at the time on the microphone, and you're like, what is this? It's got to be something big. And then when you didn't know who it was after the fireworks went off, and then you see the city and all that, but then when you saw Jericho light up in the background, you're like, oh, Chris Jericho's in the WWF. This is my stuff. And then you just saw him doing this with I can't really like that for the camera, but when you saw him doing the shake, I was like, yo, what is going on? And he turned around and went toe-to-toe with The Rock on his first night. Some dude who Eric Bischoff and them classified as a cruiserweight television champion who couldn't fight Goldberg, who probably, rumor has it, whooped Goldberg in a little scuffle they had.
That was in WWE though.
No.
Because they went to Wrestle Sport.
I'll talk offline with you about that.
All right, we'll get off. We'll go off.
Jericho went in. I think that one is one I was going to bring up to have considered on here, not the 07.
Yeah, that's definitely more shocking than the 07. Now, granted, wasn't alive for it, but I think it's more shocking than the 07 one. But once again, I think we should put on the maybes because I got a couple that we haven't brought up that I think are definitely shocking.
Well, I got one I think should be on here. It's not even WWE, bro. It's in WCW, but I think it has to be on the list, bro.
I already know what it's going to be in it. It's going to be Hogan.
Hulk Hogan, bro, and the NWO.
I knew that was going to be it. Yeah, just put it on the list. Because, granted,
Hold on now. I'm not going to go in that easy with the NWO. Are you talking about the promo? Like, what is the actual moment?
When he turned
talking about when he comes out and everybody think Hogan's going to sit there and he hits the leg drop on Macho Man. You're like, what? Like, this is the third
you're talking
guy.
about the actual NWO moment. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the...
No, not NWO and WWE.
No, none of that.
I'm talking about the one in WCW.
Was ass.
talking about the one
that
that
NWO's got to be on there, bro. Because to me, you know what made it even better? The moment that I guess people complained about was Bobby the Brain Heenan saying, "Whose side is Hogan on?" And they're like, "Are you serious, Bobby? Cut the crap." Bobby Heenan always did that shit. So I was like, man, Hogan's about to come out here and be like, brother, did. I'm done with the music back then, but you know, come on, guys, come on, buy my T-shirt, pay me lots of money. Happen, and then when he leg dropped Savage, and I'm like, out of all people, the Macho Man, my boy, once again getting crapped on by Hogan.
Of course. Who else?
Even better. And then, dude, when have you ever seen fans throw garbage?
Now in the ring.
Bro, that was nuts. Because if all the fans are throwing garbage, who are you going to arrest? Who are you going to stop? They're pissed.
I think a fan actually jumped the barricade too. Yeah, but you won't see it on the network.
Right, but you don't get that kind of reaction anymore out of people. Do you remember afterwards when Hogan came out like the first time and he got in that like grandmother's face on Nitro? You guys have probably seen pictures of it or memes. Where the grandmother,
I don't think I have.
Hogan?
I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, dude, Hogan got into a grandmother's face. I'll never forget it. And she kind of like took a swipe at him a little bit. And Hogan was hated that much before he could kiss a baby. He could leg drop a baby and nothing was going to happen. And the baby was going to put him over.
The baby would put him over too.
Yo, bro, Hogan turning has to be on that list. Yeah, my apologies for thinking the NWO with Vince thing, because that one was just, oh, God. Never.
Poison. You're talking about the poison. The poison.
Well, you just said that made me laugh.
You know what's
the
funny?
Poison.
Conrad, you brought up how you don't see reactions like that anymore nowadays. You know what I think could have gotten a reaction like that, and I think would have if it happened. I used to like. I'm not a big fan of World Culture anymore because a lot of the best guys left. But the dude Adams used to do rebooking videos, and the one that got me into it was how did we should have done the end of the street. His idea was for Cena to turn heel and cheat to beat the street. If that happened, I think we'd have saw garbage in the ring if that happened.
I think that was a match that WWE missed out on. Like, I wish that could probably be a countdown we do one day too, is the top matches WWE missed out on doing. Because I'm pretty sure
in the primes. Dude, there's so many. We can do a whole countdown of matches that Undertaker should have had at WrestleMania that they could have had. They should have did Kurt Angle in the prime. That would have been incredible. Bret the Hitman Hart, Stone Cold, The Rock. There's a lot of guys they could have did.
They could have did so many, but that.
Number one to me is Kurt Angle, though, bro. That match should have happened at 22.
But
man.
John Cena versus The Undertaker with the streak intact, I think could have been something great because of how Cena wrestles his matches. Cena was take a beating, but then when Cena's on the offense, people would have gotten so pissed. I just want to hear the boos for when he does the. I don't know what he calls it, but I always do like the shoulder tackle, shoulder
yeah,
tackle.
5-knuckle shuffle and then the 5-knuckle shuffle.
I call it the do tackle. Do. And I'm like, get up, swing. Could you hear the boos happening?
Plus, you got to think too. Back in the prime, Cena in the face. I think this has been the first time people were like, bro, Cena might end the streak, bro, because it's John Cena. So it's like, bro, they're gonna give it to John Cena, bro. They're not gonna give it to John Cena. Come on. Plus, you gotta say John Cena would have took a beating in the match, and then when he went on offense, people would have lost their minds. He hit a couple AAAs. People would have been like, no, he's gonna end the streak, but. They definitely you could do a whole countdown for matches Undertaker should have had at WrestleMania.
So I just said the 5 moves to doom, and then he goes down to do the you can't see me. Could you imagine him hitting the ropes, and then when Taker sits up, Cena does the little skirt, and then drops down like, yo, what is this? They could have had some really great matches and some teases in that match with an AA, the hype for the counts, but it never happened. I think that sucks.
I think if they had used the street to turn Cena heel, that would have gotten the biggest boo ovation, but it would have been so worth it. To see New Orleans booing John Cena as he turns heel to beat the streak and throwing garbage at him. You telling me that's not going to be a moment that's going to live forever? You know deep down you would have wanted to see it.
Oh, I would have. That would have been a great match, I think.
That'd have been crazy, dude. That'd have been crazy, man, to see that happen. But I mean, in my mind, though, they were never gonna turn John Cena here, bro. Like the same with Hogan. Like if Hogan never went to WCW, I don't know if Vince would ever turn him heel. I don't think he ever wanted to be honest. Too much money.
That is true. Like people forget that. But here's one thing you gotta ask me: what can draw money more? A baby face that fans are divided of, or a heel that fans be united to boo and pay money to see get beat up?
But you gotta think too, though. the company's different. And John Cena is your Make-A-Wish guy. He's the one who does all the
That's a
Make-A-Wish
good
stuff.
point. That's a good point.
Does
I
all
forgot
the
about
stuff for the
Make-A-Wish.
kids. The babies look up to him. Kids want to be just like him. He does. Dude, this guy's got more He got more Make-A-Wish than any celebrity, bro.
Damn, I forgot about Make-A-Wish. You got a point there.
It's like if he turns heel, bro, if he turns heel, then he ain't doing that stuff anymore.
That's a good point. I forgot about that. But you know something? I tell you a shocking moment that was on my list back then, and I remember when I brought it up, no one thought about it. What about the live sex celebration?
Shocking though, but we knew it was gonna happen though.
Yeah, but shocking in terms of, I mean, we knew it was gonna happen. I mean, shocking in terms of you didn't know how far it was gonna go.
I see your point there. I mean, obviously
I feel like we have to like counterpoint some of these. I think there's something else that was more shocking than that was in the similar light.
What?
Sable taking her top off with the handprints. Dude, because at first you're like, Sable is not gonna come out here with nothing on her like that. There's no way. And then all of a sudden, when she was like, I was like, she ain't gonna do it. And then when it got to right here, I'm like, all right, Mark Merrill's gonna stop this. And then all of a sudden, when it didn't, and I was like, I won't even say the word. I almost said something else out here. When I saw him pop out, I was like, yo. And then the King's reaction is horrible because he's like, oh yeah, you know, he's acting a fool. I think people coming out, that's a shocking one. You could even put Jacqueline in England. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. Maybe
you can't find it, but I know what you're talking about.
I've done some scrolling in my days, and I've seen Jacqueline's mishap in England.
Yeah. See, this is why I say a live sex celebration is more shocking than those, because that stuff was common back then. This was 2006. Now then we didn't go full PG for another 2 years, but this was 06, and I mean take account. There were a lot of kids watching that were there. Now, granted, I was 6, but I wasn't watching WWE at the time for some reason, and I remember when I got the History of Raw DVD because I think I was like 11 or 12 when I got it. I just, because that's the segment I always wanted to see for obvious reasons. When I finally got the DVD and I saw it was on there, I put that disc in and went straight to it. But we knew they weren't going to fuck on live TV.
Right. But I mean, I don't know. Shocking though. How do you feel about that? I don't know. I wouldn't have it on my list.
I'm taking a pass on that one. I would put the same one in over that.
I don't know how you guys feel about. How do you guys feel about? I don't know how you feel about this one, but Edge cashing in Money in the Bank.
Which one?
Revolution? The first one. The first time it ever happened. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of shocking cash-ins that you can say, but that was the first one. Right? That was the first that happened. And you gotta think the way it happened after the match had happened. Cena was already beat up, and Vince comes out and he says, "Up, the night's not over. This guy's cashing," and the Edge comes out and he's like, "What?" Edge comes out, and then, bro, I don't know. I had it on my list because I mean there are a lot of Money in the Bank cash-in moments you can put on there. I mean, CM Punk's were pretty shocking. Edge's second one was shocking to me. Seth Rollins one was crazy at WrestleMania.
I think Rollins is more shocking because that happened in the main event of WrestleMania. Like, we all completely lost it when Seth Rollins' music hit because no one thought that was happening. Edge was the first, but I think Rollins is better because it happened in the main event at WrestleMania, because it happened during the match, stuff that's never happened before. So I think
Andrew felt like he kind of saved the night.
Yeah,
because nobody wanted Roman to win that belt. So once you had the curb stomp happen, it's like,
and taking account they put themselves in the corner because if Roman won, no one wanted that. But at the same time, if Brock won, then it would have ended anticlimactically. So I think Rollins cashing in was the best thing. That's why I think even though Edge was the first and it was shocking, but here's the problem: I didn't get to see it live. So Rollins is the one I saw live between the two. I think Rollins was better.
That's tough. Yeah, I
don't know. That's
Edge on there.
You said you put
for me too, I think.
See, here's the thing. I don't think we should put both cash-ins in. So which one was more shocking, Edge or Rollins? I think Rollins was more shocking because it happened in the main event of WrestleMania.
I agree on that one. To me, I think it's just a better moment overall. I think Edge is right there though too, because Edge's moment is great with him bleeding, and Vince McMahon's in that cash in. I don't think he's been involved in any other one except for that Batista one, which shouldn't count because that's
That wasn't a cash in, so it doesn't
no,
count.
I know, but that's just stupid. I know someone will be like, "Oh, he was out there with Batista. Why doesn't that count as a moment?" But when
Because it wasn't
I think the Edge one to me holds more because nobody really knew how the Money in the Bank really was going to work at the time because nobody thought he was going to cash in after a match. You know what I mean? Like when he was going to cash in, but like, oh, he's going to cash in at WrestleMania. He's going to cash in before a match, whatever. Cash in after the match had happened. Like after the match had happened, Cena got his ass beat in that chamber, whatever. He's bleeding, whatever. He's selling and stuff like that. He's like selling his arm and all that stuff. Vince comes out and he says the night's not over, and people are like, "What? What do you mean the night's not over?" And then when they said Edge cashing the Money in the Bank, people were like, "Whoa, Edge cashing the Money in the Bank, bro!" Came out and then he kicked out of that first spear too, and he kicked out of that first spear. I'm like, "Oh my god, what's gonna happen?"
I'm looking at the chat right now, and XP Entertainment says that he's going with Seth cashing in.
I'm going with Seth. I think Seth was more shocking. Also, it helps because I saw it live. I didn't get to see Edge's live.
Same.
I mean, I didn't see Edge's live either though. But it was still like this. I remember
Going
seeing
to the
Raw the next day. And he had
after?
I remember seeing Raw the next day and he had the title. I was like, why? He has the title? Like I didn't know he had. I didn't know he had the title. Like this guy has the title now. Whatever. I mean, there's still. I mean, even when he hit against the Undertaker was pretty shocking to me because I didn't see that coming.
I didn't see that one live either. I didn't see either Edge cash in live.
And you know what though? Here's what I think makes Rollins more special. How many guys lied and said they were going to cash in at WrestleMania? Mr. Kennedy, Daniel Bryan. So many people said I'm going to cash in at WrestleMania, and no one ever did it. So you never really believed it. And Rollins had already had that great moment with Orton, so you're like, oh, he's done for the night. He's good to go. And then when you hear his music hit though, and he comes down that ramp at I don't know who ran down the ramp faster, him or Charles Robinson at WrestleMania 24. Those are some great
Charles Robinson was getting up through, bro.
Charles Robinson was booking. I think Robinson.
but they did Charles Robinson dirty with the music. Do Charles
Robinson ran down a longer ramp too. I remember watching.
Okay, what about?
Okay,
I don't know how you guys feel about that one, but what about the Randy Orton cash in though? When Triple H pedigreed Daniel Bryan after that match and everything, and he gave him that belt and everything, and he just handed him the belt.
Do you want me to get angry on this podcast again?
That's a shocking moment. That's a shocking moment though.
Randy Orton's cash in was so trash, bro. It made me angry. I'll never forget that night, dude. We had that great match. I'm like, yes, Daniel Bryan's finally done it. Daniel Bryan is the WWE champion. I was happy as hell. I'm like, good stuff, Triple H. Cool. They called it fair. I'm happy it happened. Cena can go out and get his surgery now. And then all of a sudden, Orton came out with the briefcase. I'm like, man, he's such a doo-doo Money in the Bank winner, man. Nobody wants to see him win the belt. And I'll never forget when I saw the turnaround, kick to the gut. I was like, I just gave this man a compliment. This dude sucks. And then here comes Orton, and he just pens Daniel Bryan. I was pissed.
I remember watching that too, man. Like, it's funny.
I remember watching it, but it was shocking though because nobody saw it coming.
Actually, I don't think it's no way.
First off, I didn't have Daniel Bryan even winning that match. I was like, Daniel Bryan's not winning the match.
Come on, I had Cena winning that. I had Bryan winning the match. Cena better go off for surgery.
No way had Daniel Bryan winning. No way had Daniel Bryan win that match.
Come on, even I had Daniel Bryan winning.
And then after the match, Randy Orton comes out and he holds up the briefcase. He's like, oh, he's gonna cash it. But then he holds up and he starts walking away. I'm like, okay, maybe not. And then Triple H pedigrees him, and then he walks in and this bro. I was like, oh my gosh, bro.
That was the beginning of that doo-doo authority angle.
Ugh. Yeah, if the authority ended at an earlier time, it'd have been okay because really, I thought it was interesting at first.
You know what though? I will say this: that did make the story better going into WrestleMania 30 with the whole those two screwed him, and now he's got to battle both of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, that's it.
And now Batista's thrown in, someone from Evolution at the time. Like,
yeah, and I mean, here's the thing. Like, I just remember because it was like for me, it was like my childhood favorite, my new favorite between Cena and Bryan. I like both of them, but I knew Bryan was winning. Great match, Bryan wins. Orton can't, but I'm not. Something didn't seem right. Like, Cena shook Bryan's hand. Triple H shook his hand. Cena left. Triple H stayed in the ring throughout the entire celebration. And when I heard Orton's music hit, I just had a feeling.
Come
Something
on,
told
bro.
me.
Yo, change the subject, man. We're done with it. Hurting my feelings about. I just see that man in the ring with the confetti. Oh man.
Something told me Triple H is about to get involved in it. And like, don't get me wrong, I don't think it's on this list because it wasn't shocking. But the minute Triple H didn't leave that ring and Orton's music hit, I knew it was about to happen.
Didn't that hurt your soul too, man? Like all that confetti wasted. You know, Vince was laughing backstage, like, they think that they got a champion.
I got a moment on here that you guys may be wondering. I was there for it too, bro. Seth Rollins turning on the Shield.
Yes. Yo, can I tell you the funniest thing that I noticed about this? Have I ever told you guys this story offline?
No, but it's gonna be
My
funny.
favorite moment with this is about to be funny. So the Shield, when they did the turn that night, I'll never forget what did he say before? There's always an option B or a plan.
Plan B is always a plan B. Is always a
And
plan
back
B.
then, the Shield always stepped up together. And I'll never forget. I think it was Roman. Then Dean stepped up, and Dean was the one everybody thought was turning.
I did
Right.
too.
Roman was it? But I was like, oh, it's got to be Dean. And they kept trying to tease the dissension. But when Seth had the chair in his hand,
I knew it right there. I was like,
wait, but go back and listen to it very specifically.
no.
As soon as he picks up the chair like this, all you hear is one fan go, "Oh my God!" He yelled no. I'm sorry. He was like, "No!" You can hear it's the funniest thing. Like, listen very closely before he hits Roman with the chair. This fan yells no so loud. He's the only dude in the arena that you hear a pin drop. Roman gets cracked with it. That was a great moment because I had no idea, dude.
Bro, it was a perfect timing because they just beat Evolution the night before. They're like stronger than ever. It was like, oh, these guys are dominating, whatever.
The Outlaws, they beat Kane, they beat Team Hell No, they beat Ryback. Everybody who mattered, they beat the shit out of The Rock at one point. CM
Taker
Punk,
too.
dude, Taker, dude, they beat up everybody. The Shield, they fought Evolution. I'm like, yo, this might be the time where they could lose. They dominated them, like swept them. Batista just quit. I'm like, yo, they're on top of the world. And then Seth Rollins turns. Dude, that was a good moment. You guys can tell me how you feel. I want to hear this,
Bro, I was there for that, bro. I was there at that crowd, bro.
Was that you who yelled though?
No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me, bro. I had the option between going to either the SmackDown the night after or the Raw before.
You picked a good
because the
option.
Raw was in Indianapolis. The Raw was in Indianapolis and the SmackDown was in Cincinnati. Cincinnati is closer to where I'm at. But I was like, bro, I'd rather go to the Raw, whatever, bro. Batista quits. I'm like, oh my God, Batista. He just came back, bro. He just quit, whatever. So the whole night, you knew something was gonna happen because they were like, Triple H was like, there's always plan B. So I was like, who's gonna join with him? Like, I don't know who it is. I mean, I don't know who they're gonna pull out. Somebody's returns or something like that. I don't know what's gonna happen. They come out. They're in the ring. They're cutting the promos. Like I said, when they stepped up, Rollins didn't step up. He had the chair, bro. I knew instantly, bro. When as soon as he didn't step up, bro, I was like, no, bro, they're not about to do this, bro. He picked up the chair and swung it. I was like, oh, he turned, bro. My entire section, bro, was like, what just happened, bro? He turned on the Shield, bro. No. Beat him down, bro. People were heated, bro. They were booing like, boo, get out, bro. They was crazy, bro. It has to be on the list, bro.
Dean Ambrose looked stupid after too. Like, what did you just do? What did you do? Kick out. The chair shots to him.
Bro, honestly, I would say both Shield moments were even when Dean turned on Seth, bro. Like we all knew it was gonna happen, but I didn't know it was gonna happen like that night.
That was good too, though. That was very good too. After Roman announces that he's got leukemia, and you're like, oh, they're gonna end this night on a feel good moment, and then
I thought that was gonna happen.
You said you thought that was gonna happen?
No, I thought they when they announced the titles, I said they're gonna win them for Roman, and then then Dean turned on Seth. That shot. Want to know something funny about the Shield? Seth turned on the Shield. I actually fell asleep on Raw that night, and like I didn't know what happened. Gosh. I fell asleep on Raw last night. So the funny thing, I fall asleep on Raw. See, this is the thing about me. I used to check Bleacher Report, to see the grades they used to give the show and anything I missed. And I remember, I'm scrolling through just checking everything, and then I can see the Cliff Notes. And when we get to the final part, I see a picture of Rollins with Triple H and Randy Orton in the middle of the ring. I'm like, wait, what happened? And I just read and it said Seth Rollins turning the Shield. I was shocked. I'm literally walking to school to go to the school bus, and I got this in my head, oh my God, Seth Rollins turned on the Shield. It's not gonna work till you take everyone out. And I was in a loss for words. I didn't know what to think, and I was disappointed because I fell asleep. I was so tired that night. I fell asleep because I didn't think anything was gonna happen when Batista quit. And I just felt something wrong, and I was mad about that. But that was a crazy part. That was pretty crazy too, to be honest. I think Rollins Turn the Shield could be on this list.
I think it is.
For me, I have it on my list.
I think it is. That was a dope one. And you know what? The Shield was never the same kind of after that. Like it was never appreciated as much as like back then, dude. The Shield had the Shield saved me from like not wanting to watch WWE. Is the craziest part. Like those shows were god awful after that time. Like
Bro, the two things that I cared about at the time were the Shield and CM Punk, bro. Like the little two people that and John Cena too, but those are the two people that I really liked.
same.
I still think putting the Shield back together is mean how they did was a mistake. And here's why. Like everyone always says all the time, I want the Shield to come back, or they broke them up too early. My response was always the same thing. No, they didn't break them up too early. They beat everybody. They beat everybody. They held all the gold, and they broke the group up in a shocking moment, and they broke the stable up at the time before they got stale. And the fact that people wanted more, I think that would cement them as one of the greatest stables of all time. But they kept bringing it back. About nothing's ever going to adapt with that first run. Like, they didn't bring it back under the right circumstances. Like, I'd have brought them back on, like, some Undisputed Era comes up to the main roster, or the club with AJ Styles and the club terrorizing everything. That's what I would have done. But you brought him back.
But to join back up with him, like, listen, we don't like each other anymore, but you know what we do when we're together. And, you know, you kind of treat it like a superhero thing. Like, when we come together, business is getting taken care of. But they can't stand each other enough or coexist anymore.
Like, I didn't even mind.
Exactly.
I didn't even mind, like, the small teas they had. Like, I remember at Payback 2015, because that was in Baltimore, too, which I didn't get to go to, but I watched it. It was those three in the Orton in the Fatal 4-Way. And I remember telling my cousin and my brother, guarantee there's going to be a Shield triple powerbomb on Orton later on. And it happened. I just saw it coming. Then you got when the three of them fought at Battleground 2016. When they fought at Battleground 2016. And Seth and Dean did it to Roman. Then this was just one of the best matches of 2016 in general, was the SmackDown vs. Raw elimination tag match, which lasted 50 minutes, when they did the Shield triple powerbomb on AJ Styles through the table. Like, I didn't mind those little nods, but when they brought the groups back for no reason, like, under those circumstances, I was disappointed about that.
And it seems like it's been cursed every time, too. With an NG.
All right, so would you guys have Rollins turn on the Shield on your list? I say it's on the list.
I say yes.
What about you, Kyron?
Yeah, I think it's on the list.
All right, hold on. Turned on the Shield. What about when Seth turned? What about when Dean turned on Seth?
I don't think we're gonna have both. I think Dean's was like more emotionally, because we're all emotionally drained, like hurt after Roman announces leukemia that night, and then Dean turns on Seth. But shocking, I don't know if it was shocking per se, because we all saw Dean Ambrose double turn coming. The only thing that shocked me was that it happened that night, because we all knew Dean was gonna turn.
Yeah, him doing it that night was the more shocking part. Like, they had just won the tag belts, and you're like, all right, they're going to use the tag belts as the catalyst for him to turn eventually. And he just did it right then and there, like, oh, I don't care.
Hurry up.
All right, any mentions you want to throw out there, Conrad?
Yeah, I want to put out there the night Vince McMahon bought WCW. I think that's a surreal moment to any fan who was a fan during that time of the last 10 to 15 years. I never thought I'd see the day where billionaire Ted didn't have his company anymore because he had gave it up. I honestly think that that's one of the greatest moments when they did the simulcast. I used to flip back and forth because I wasn't one of those people who had like the VCRs where I could record it and all that stuff. I had a VCR, but we couldn't record it all the time and do that stuff. So I'm flipping back and forth like, all right, let me see what's happening on Nitro real quick. And then all of a sudden, Vince McMahon kind of opens up the show and he said, "Hello, WCW fans." I'm like, WCW fans? What the hell's he talking about? He was like, if you're watching me on Nitro, don't adjust your set because I have bought my competition. And I was like, oh, no, dude. I heard Eric Bischoff was starting up a group. And I remember him on Nitro talking about, like, I got a group of investors together. We're going to try and make WCW work. Blah, 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 blah. And I remember hearing that, and I thought, oh, they're going to relaunch WCW, or they're going to take some time off and try to fix this. When I saw that man on a television screen talking about he owned WCW, It was crazy. That night was nuts. When he talked about Jeff Jarrett, he was like, "No, he's JE double gone." And I was
No,
like,
he said I think he said capital G, double O, double N, double E.
"Is that what he said?" Then maybe Schleg Daddy or someone says it like that because when they said he was gone,
I know Schleg Daddy had the biggest smile on his face when he said that. You know he did. Watch it go down.
terrible.
You
But
know
he
Schleg Daddy was happy.
He was just talking about stuff that like, oh, this person's gonna be gone. This is gonna happen. That's gonna happen. And that's to me absolutely crazy to sit up there and watch. Like you're like, what happens to Sting? What happens to Ric Flair? They go out and wrestle a match. And while you're watching it, so it gets to the end of the night, and Vince McMahon says he's gonna sign the contract. But he's gonna sign the contract at WrestleMania. So WrestleMania already looked like one of the greatest cards on paper.
Which it was.
17. So
I know. I'm saying which it was. I said which it was like it was.
Oh my bad. I didn't know if you were asking the question. So while they're going through that for WrestleMania 17, Shane McMahon pops out in Panama City, the greatest home of professional wrestling. Sorry, that was every WCW ending when they were in Panama. So Shane McMahon pops out with his little sweater on. I just thought of a meme to remind me after. I'll tell you which one I was thinking of.
Oh no.
He's actually on there, and Shane says, "Yeah, the name on the contract says McMahon.
That's Shane McMahon.
But it says Shane McMahon." And I'm like, "Yo, they're about to have his son own WCW and battle his dad. This is dope." And you thought that was gonna be great, and then you started reading the rumors of Shane's gonna have his own company.
Yeah, they screwed up we all know how much they screwed up the Invasion. But
have you guys heard the original plans though?
All I know is they were gonna originally relaunch WCW, but the match between Booker T and
so the
Buck Bagwell flopped.
The invasion match that happened at the pay-per-view was going to be for rights of Monday Night Raw for television time. Because why would Vince let them come on TV? Shane was going to win, and Raw was going to become Nitro, and Vince's show was going to be SmackDown. And that's how they were going to split the brands up, and then WCW was going to be its own brand. But it never got to that level. Vince ended up rushing Booker T and Marcus, or I almost said Marcus Bagwell, Buck Bagwell in Seattle. The bad reaction. He said, "Nope."
No, it was in Tacoma. It wasn't. I think it was in Tacoma, Washington. Actually,
it should have been in Seattle because maybe it would have did better. That match sucked.
You know what's funny? I have this on my list in another way. I didn't have everything. I just had Shane buying WCW. I didn't bring up like just in storyline purposes, but because I didn't put the real life emphasis on it. But when you do that, yeah, I think it has to be on the list. When you think of the fact that WCW damn near ran Vince out of business, and then Vince was with the Attitude Era with Austin, Rock, and Taker, and everyone came back on them and won the war, and Vince bought WCW. That alone, and you know, I think it has to be there. I mean, Vince nearly went out of business due to this company. Now he's bought him. Yeah, I mean, whether you love Vince or you hate him, you gotta admit that might have been one of the biggest successes of his life. And yeah, I think it has to be on the list. What do you think, Malik?
Write it down.
How many spots do we have left?
3.
Let's see if I can find anything else on my list we haven't even talked about yet. At least, well, here's the thing. This isn't on my list, but what do you guys think about when Rikishi ran down Stone Cold? not when they announced it. I mean, when Austin got run down.
Oh my God, that's such a bad moment on any countdown.
It was shocking seeing the man get run over.
No, I mean, here's the crazy part. So, for the purpose of this podcast, it's a shocking moment, but the payoff to the shocking moment absolutely sucks. Like, Stone Cold getting hit by the car was a big storyline, but you kind of have to wait for the whodunit for it to be shocking. And then when they said it was Rikishi, bro, I started laughing so hard. I'm like, so you mean to tell me for months I was all into this? Like, man, who did it? Who they bringing over from another company? And then all of a sudden I hear, I did it for The Rock. I did it for the people. I shut your mouth, you thong wearing fatty. That was, it was just horrible, dude. Rikishi was over and people loved him.
He never got it over again.
But then they switched it. Didn't they switch it to Triple H? Did it though?
No, they said Triple H was the mastermind. Like he orchestrated it. I don't know. Why didn't you just have Triple H been the one that did it anyway?
Surprise.
Conrad, don't start.
I'm just being honest. Who took all the credit for? I did it. I orchestrated. Okay, Triple H, you did it.
He might as well have been the one to do it anyway.
I hate that feud though with him and Austin and Triple H. I don't like that. I'm not a big fan of it.
You don't like the Austin Triple H feud?
No, I did not.
Okay,
like
listen, Conrad. Hold up. I get you don't like Triple H, but there's some things you gotta watch. You say, how can you not like that feud?
I just it wasn't as appealing to me. Malik heard this before though. I'm more a fan of Triple H and The Rock's feuds than Triple H and Stone Cold. I just did not get into it. The best thing I think was when he did the stuff to DX.
I don't know that I like the match that had No Way Out in 2001, the 3 Stages of Hell match. That was a good match.
That match was epic.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gone back and watched the match many times, so I like the match.
See, I've never had the desire to go back and watch it.
Yeah, like I said, I think like this thing, shocking doesn't necessarily have to be good. Like that's what we have to remember. Shocking does not have to be good at all. But I would just bring that up.
What about? Okay, shocking. What about when Evolution turned on Randy Orton?
I saw that coming. The minute they had Orton,
I'm not gonna lie, I did not see that coming back then.
and I was 4 years old and I knew it was about to happen.
Orton winning the title to me was kind of more shocking though. I don't know. That was a weird like couple of weeks because Orton gets the title shot. You're like, okay, that's weird. I'm like, maybe it's a patsy because it's SummerSlam. You're like, well, maybe it's a patsy for Benoit. But then again, I'm like, well, maybe they're tired of Benoit as champ because he only wrestles. You know what I mean? Benoit was a wrestler's wrestler, and that ain't Vince's forte usually.
Nah, not at all. At least Eddie had the personality.
Right. Benoit didn't have that. And trust me, look, I'm more of a Benoit guy than an Eddie guy back then.
I'm more of an Eddie. I used to be a Benoit guy, but I'm more of an Eddie guy now.
See, I love Benoit because I like the technician in ring stuff. But when they put him in there with Orton, I'm like, well, could Orton win this? And I'm like, because I loved Orton at the time. I'm like, I wanted Orton to break Honky Tonk Man's IC title streak because he was close. And they didn't have him do it. And then all of a sudden he was in that world title match. Orton is, to me, he's one of the only people in wrestling who I've said this since he was wearing the blue and yellow tights. He makes it look easy. Orton just makes it look like glide, stand up, perfect drop kick on the button every single time. RKO, duck, beautiful. And when he got out of it and nailed Chris Benoit with that and won, I was like, they really let this dude win. He's so young. But then I thought, oh, WWE's petty. They did this so that Brock Lesnar wasn't the youngest champ.
Exactly. Here's the thing. I was 4 years old when it happened. But as soon as they lifted Orton up, I just had a feeling they were going to turn him. I don't know. I just had that feeling. And this comes from someone who's a 4-year-old. Also, taking into account that Triple H would have won that. Knowing Triple H, he wanted that title more than anything. So I knew he wouldn't have liked Orton being champion. So I saw that coming. Even when I was a 4-year-old kid, I saw it coming.
Maybe I was blinded because I was just like, oh, yes, the reign of terror is over, Bubba. He's finally going to not do it. And then, lo and behold, dumbass me strikes again. Oh, I believed the dude was going to put someone over. And I was like, not this guy. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think Orton being turned on by Evolution is shocking enough because I saw it coming. And if you're a 4-year-old seeing it coming, I don't know how shocking it can really be.
I think it was more shocking that he believes for that, but it was all right though. I don't know if it's top 10 though.
I'll tell you something that's top 10 that we didn't even bring up, and it's on my list. And how in the world have we not brought it up? Austin turning heel at WrestleMania 17 and joining Vince. Not Austin turning heel is the shocking part. Him shaking hands with Vince is the shocking part.
Yeah, the way they did it was it was bad in hindsight, but that night after with WrestleMania, I thought that was kind of a dope moment. I don't know how you guys felt about it, but I remember watching it and I was like, wrestling has peaked. Like, I never thought that would happen.
Damn, Malik, you chewing on them bitches. Yeah, I think Austin turning heel is definitely on the list because literally, like I said, like this comes from once again comes from who wasn't around. Oh, well, I was a baby, but who wasn't around during the Attitude Era. But I know how much Austin and Vince hated each other and the hell they put each other through. And now Austin's joining them. And even Austin to this day still says he thinks that's a bad idea. Because that really led to a lot of people who stopped watching wrestling when that happened. Like that's what made a lot of
The Rock's popularity was growing. From that time when Austin got hit by the car, Rock was doing this. Rock was always climbing. Like, if they're climbing the wrong, Austin's starting to go up a little bit slower, and Rock's climbing to catch up to him just as fast. Like, I'm going to get you. I'm about to get you, bro. And I think that was the moment when he feared, like, Rock's about to get me, and I'm done. And that's the guy who Vince wants.
Yeah, but Austin even said like during that match he thought about calling an audible because his popularity hadn't like gone down as much as he thought it was. Like I think that's one of the most shocking moments because I remember I was watching on the Rock DVD and I was like 8 when my father's friend let me hold it. And when I saw it, like Austin and Vince joined, I was like, "What the fuck?" Like I never thought I saw it. Like I never thought what happened. Now, granted, it's like 7 or 8 years after the fact, but still, I think that's definitely got to be on this list.
What do you think, Conrad?
I think so.
All right, we got 2 spots left then.
Anything else you want to bring up before we get to the maybes? Because most of my list is actually on our list already. Like anything else you want to bring up? Because the only thing I have left, I don't even think this should be on a list. I just think it's interesting. Was when Ric Flair showed up in WWE with the WCW Championship in '92.
That was crazy, but I don't think it's shocking compared to what happened afterwards. I think we've named more shocking moments
Yeah, we have.
than that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I just think it was a crazy moment, especially for '92.
What about Bret Hart coming back?
See, the thing, I don't think Bret coming back was shocking because he technically had came back to the Hall of Fame ceremony in '06. What was more shocking was him and Sean burying the hatchet.
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to though.
That's actually, I think that's shocking
I'm
because
like, man, when another company tries to go head to head with Vince McMahon on the same night, it's funny. Bret the Hitman Hart money showed up, and you said Shawn Michaels.
damn Malik.
You good, Malik?
I mean, that definitely wouldn't be on my list. I don't think that was shocking at all, to be honest.
But it's funny
Kind of
how-
expected.
I think the only
we do
problem is that
expect- See, I think it's the difference is sometimes the eras between us because, back in my day, you thought never, ever, ever is Bret gonna forgive Shawn Michaels ever. That's like Jim Cornette and Vince Russo coming out shaking hands.
that's never happened. This world will go to hell before that happens.
But I'm just saying, like, when Bret, obviously when Bret came back, that was gonna have to be addressed. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna bring him back and not just address something with that. So I mean,
I think you could bring people back though. You could have just said you're not going to interact with Shawn.
Yeah, but they both.
I don't think he would have. I don't think he would have came back unless I don't know. I think Bret would have been like, nah, we gotta bury all that shit in the past.
I think it was good for both of them that they did bury the hatchet because those two, like the animosity those two had for each other was so bad. And then you had, like, for example, Shawn became a born again Christian, and Shawn like admitted his faults. And like the one thing is, would Bret ever forgive him? Then they finally like saw each other. I honestly believe that night in Dayton, Ohio, when they finally buried hatchet, was the first time those two saw each other since '97. Like I think it's the first time they were face to face since that night. Now the only problem is I think it was a little bit too scripted. Like I don't know how much of that segment was scripted, but I just wish they both had just like flat out said everything they really wanted to say. Because maybe it's just me, and I thought it was when I saw it back then in 2010. It felt like those two were holding back from what they really wanted to say.
I think they were trying to save it for that DVD though that came out afterwards because you knew like we got to do a DVD about this. I think I have it somewhere in here, but
Yeah, I've watched it on the network before.
Yeah, there's like a whole DVD about them burying the hatchet because they were actually friends before.
They were, but I'm glad.
At one point, yeah.
But me personally, and I'm glad that Shawn and Bret were able to bury the hatchet. I'm glad they're actually cool. I'm not gonna say they're friends again, but I'm glad they're actually cool with each other. Like they can coexist now because it was a lot of like childish stuff that they like a lot really childish from both of them back then. I'm glad they were able to bury the hatchet and they're cool with each other now. I'm happy about that.
What do you guys feel about? I don't know if you guys I don't know. This wouldn't be on my list, but I don't know about the Bleacher Report. Did you guys know that Shane was gonna come back that one night when he came out when Stephanie was in the ring and all that, and Shane came out?
I didn't.
I did not know. That was
no. I didn't. I didn't even see it on Bleacher Report on What Culture. I ain't see it nowhere. I did not think that was gonna happen. When Shane's music hit that night, it was crazy. That was actually a legitimate reaction because I didn't see it coming. Like I just remember because
and then the aftermath when they said he was gonna face the Undertaker and stuff, I was like, what?
You know what? That was an interesting storyline that they never finished. That damn lockbox and all that stuff. They could have really did something with that.
Yeah, exactly. And then the thing is,
but I didn't know he was coming back that night. Yeah, I didn't know he was coming back tonight either though. I don't know. I thought it was a cool moment though when Shane came out and then they did the whole promo stuff, and he was like, "Oh, he wants to run Raw," and he's like, "Are you gonna have one match against the Undertaker at WrestleMania in the Hell in a Cell?" And shit. I was like, "Oh shit!"
And then they ruined it the next night or after WrestleMania by Vince letting them still just run Raw.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my problem. Like,
Pointless.
it was completely pointless. Like, he basically just said the next night, Shane came out and said goodbye, and Vince said, "Well, let's see what you got. Go ahead." Like, and then the next week, he comes back the next week because, overwhelming fan demand. Well, and I think everyone else had said it too. Grimm said in his review, if they did things by what fans demanded, then shouldn't they have killed Roman Reigns by now? And then he came back next week for the same thing. Now, granted, those, I don't think the Raw to WrestleMania, but the 2 Raws after Shane took control were pretty good episodes of Raw. But that's just, but I think, like, what's the point of all of that? What's the point of the Hell in a Cell with The Undertaker, the lockbox, the promos and everything leading up? If Shane was just gonna run Raw anyway, become the commissioner of SmackDown and still be on TV to this very day. And here's one thing I'm gonna say. Now, I don't know how much you guys are gonna hate me for it or what's gonna come of it. Shane has overstayed his welcome almost as much as Stephanie did. Because since then, Shane has been on TV much more than Stephanie.
I think the problem is Shane's a draw to the old school fans. I think they probably have done surveys, polls, and a lot of people like Shane. Like, my friends are casual watchers, and when Shane comes out, it's a face they recognize, someone they know, and they're like, "Yo, that's Shane McMahon. That's what's up." And Shane can.
That's the thing. I don't know. It's Shane with Shane though. It's like anytime he wrestles, you know he's gonna do crazy shit. Even though it's like you know what he's gonna do, it's still like that feeling. Like, all right, what? Like, I don't know. I still get that feeling with him. Like, even though the match with the Miz at WrestleMania, I was like, oh, he's gonna do something crazy. But it's like, what is he gonna do? You know what I mean? Like the match tomorrow on the steel cage. Guarantee he's jumping off that cage. You know he's jumping. Yeah. You know he's jumping off that steel cage. But it's like it's the anticipation. Like, you know, Shane's jumping off that cage.
You know, here's one thing. And it's funny because I remember when I did a WrestleMania prediction video with Kyrie that year. I said in the video, everyone who used to watch Shane around that time, don't expect anything crazy because he was up in age. Don't expect him to jump off Hell in a Cell or anything like that. And he jumped off the Hell in a Cell. I mean, literally, that was one of my crazy reactions. I couldn't believe it. Like,
bro, me neither. Because I was like, you knew he was going to do something crazy, but I was like, the only crazy thing he do is jump off the cell. So they can't do that. They can't jump off the cell. I mean, there's no way. But then he jumped off the cell. I was like, oh my gosh, bro, he jumped off the cell, bro.
See, even though Shane,
I mean, speaking of another shocking moment, though, what about when Mick Foley got thrown off the cell, though?
That's shocking because that wasn't what happened. No.
And then he went through the cell. Then he went through the cell on the same night, bro. Ooh.
Well, when he went through, but that wasn't planned though. The one getting thrown off the cell, that was planned. Getting thrown through the cell wasn't. And Mick even said if he had landed on his back after getting chokeslammed through the cell, he probably would have died. And Mick even says if that happened in the days WWE, then the match would have been stopped, and rightfully so. Like, you'll never see anything like that again. Conrad, you were around during that time, so
I watched it live. Actually,
you should bring it up.
In the house right across the street from here, I watched it. We had just came home from playing basketball. I'll never forget. Hands were dirty. Just washed them. I just remember, like, man, starting to get better at basketball. Life is good. Man, I wish we could watch The King of the Ring. My wife at the time was there with her brothers. We were all little kids back then, though. And all of a sudden, we walked in. We're like, yo, who ordered King of the Ring? And as a kid, you're like, I don't give a damn. We ain't asking no questions. Sit down and watch it. And then all of a sudden, we sat there. And that match, I'll never forget. On his way to the ring, Mick Foley or Mankind, whatever. I think he came out with a chair, didn't he?
Yeah, he on top of himself.
See, that's how I remember all this craziness. Then he throws it up. And when we watched that match, bro, I've never seen so many people like, nah, that's gotta. Where's the pad? Like, he went through a table and there's nothing under him. I think that is a crazy moment that you got to put on that list too.
Yeah, I do too. And what was I say? Like, that's one of those matches in wrestling. Well, I honestly think the first Hell in a Cell match when Undertaker and Shawn is the better match. I think it's a better match. The one between Mick Foley and Undertaker, that's one of those matches that everyone's seen. Like, that's one of those matches everybody's seen.
I think that's Mick Foley's greatest spectacle of the work he did. If you guys never watched him as Cactus Jack in WCW, if you guys have never seen any of that stuff, Mick Foley always did crazy stuff.
Crazy stuff, man.
Yo, like him ripping up the pads, and then he was like, the front flips everyone does today on the people on the outside? Mick Foley used to do that and then miss and hit the ground. Concrete. Like, who?
Dude, he used to do some crazy. I remember when people used to throw him to the steps, bro, and he used to go knees first, like knees for he flip over the steps, like, bro, like. This
Yeah,
man just
now
throwing himself at the steps. Like,
his legs are still
I don't
fucked
know.
this very day because of it.
I would have that on my list. I would say it's on my list. It's because you something like you would never expect something like that to happen. Like he threw my like first. Okay, Conrad, let me see. They go to the cell. Do you think he was gonna fall? So like, oh, he ain't gonna throw him off the cell. They're on top of the cell. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. I just thought they were gonna climb down eventually, and maybe he would have took a bump like Sean did, kind of.
You know what's
Yeah,
funny
off the
with
side.
Yeah, because the bump Sean took, he just kind of fell off the side. Mick got thrown through it, and Sean landed pretty safely because he didn't really. Maybe it's just from
Sean
the angle.
playing that
Sean didn't.
perfectly.
Yeah, Sean didn't really fall from a huge distance.
Man, if you watch that match, look back. Sean was looking back and make sure he was at the right angle. He's like, am I at the right angle before he dropped? But Mick Foley, I mean, he got thrown though. Like he just like, shoot, time to go.
Dude, I feel like Mick Foley only his shoulder touched that table and he ate the rest of that shit. Like that sucked. Like
He did separate his shoulder.
yeah, oh god.
I don't know. I think I have it on my list. Shocking moments because something I don't know. I think I have it on my list.
And then he came back out.
Yeah, and then
And
went
then,
through.
and then he went through the cell, bro. Like he went through, and then he went through thumbtacks and bro, come on. And then he came back out for the Stone Cold match with Kane.
And then met fans the next night.
Damn!
I would have that on my list.
Yo!
He's probably watching the game.
Gotta be.
No, my cousin's playing Arkham Knight, and during one of the dual takedowns, as Batgirl, he threw Harley in the air, and Robin tombstoned it, and we just started laughing at it.
What do you guys think about Mick Foley? Would you have him on the list? Would you put it on your list?
Yeah, I have it on the list.
Which
Mick Foley getting thrown off the cell.
yeah.
All right, we got one spot left in.
I know a shocking moment, but it ain't good.
Yeah.
You want to hear it?
What?
Conrad, this is one of your favorite moments. Katie Vick.
Screwed her brains out.
I still say they're going to hell for doing that, shooting that segment next to a funeral while a funeral was in the other room.
Yo. Bruce Pritchard's the man. I don't care what anyone says. That will always make me laugh. It's so bad, it's funny.
I don't find it funny at all.
I do. I think that's hilarious. My man Kane always got hit with a bad storyline. They just saddled him on that horse every time. Like, get on bad storyline.
You know, funny. Brian Zane, like he does top 8 videos, not top 10, top 8s. And his video, this is one of the first videos I ever watched from him, was the top eight Kane storylines, except for Katie Vick. He said it'd be a slam dunk to put it at number 1, but it's too easy, which is why he didn't even put it. He even said that's the worst Kane storyline. That's too easy to put. But yeah, that's a shocking moment, but for all the wrong reasons. And of course, Conrad morbid ass going to like it, but I think I don't at all.
That's just bad.
Katie Vick thing, bro. I remember at the time I was watching it, bro, I didn't understand it because I was just a kid. But my uncle was just like, "What is this shit? Like, what are we watching here?" Like, it's crazy. Like, for the longest time, and my uncle, he grew up a wrestling fan, big like in the '80s and stuff like that. Like I think his favorite was Andre the Giant. He would go see Andre the Giant in person and stuff like that when he was a kid and stuff like that. And for the longest time, bro, he tried to get me to watch wrestling, bro, and I hated it. Didn't want to watch it. I was like, I'm not watching this stuff. I wasn't into it, bro. Then all of a sudden, I just happened to fall into it. Like I just got into it randomly. Like just randomly had to go back and watch it. And I remember he was telling me about that 7-1. He was like, man, don't ever go back and watch that terrible stuff.
What made you want to get into wrestling, then, Malik?
I was flipping through channels one night. I was on spring break or something like that, man, and it was right, bro. I'll never forget it. Right, Royal Rumble 2005, bro. Right before the Royal Rumble happened, man. I'm flipping through channels, bro. I turn on SmackDown, bro. I see this guy come out in the lowrider. I'm like, who is this, bro? It's Eddie Guerrero in the lowrider, bro. Comes out. I was big in the lowriders, bro. My somebody I know used to have one. Man, he used to let me in it when I was a kid. I used to bounce up and down and stuff. So I was like, yo, who's this coming out in the lowrider, bro? This is dope. I'll never forget, bro. The next thing, here comes Booker T. And then here comes Rey Mysterio coming out. They were in a 6-man tag, man. I don't remember who. I think they were fighting Orlando Jordan and the Basham Brothers. And they were in a 6-man. And they were in a 6-man tag, man. And I don't know. I just didn't change the channel. I started watching it and everything. And then they started, the Undertaker came out with the whole hide and right gimmick they were doing with the whole casket match. And then John Cena comes out with the spinner belt and everything. I'm like, yo, this is kind of dope, man. I was hooked ever since, man. I started watching every week, bro. And then I didn't really start watching Raw until later though, because I only used to watch SmackDown. I was just watching SmackDown every Thursday, man. When it came on Thursday nights, every Thursday I was watching it.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, I mean, So that's how Malik got in the rush. I just got him through my mother and grandmother. Well, we got one spot left. What do we have left in the Navy?
All right, so we got. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 9. We have Nexus. We have the Nexus debut, and we have Brian Pillman gun segment. The Brock Lesnar return, Sting debut, The Rock returning, Ultimate Warrior return, Jericho debut, Seth Rollins cash in, and Edge's cash in.
Honestly, I think of all of them, I think Pillman's got a gun to be here because, like I said, of everything we've seen in history, that's the one thing we know. One, we're never gonna see again.
Everybody got guns, bro.
Thank you.
They don't even try to shoot. I hate Doc.
That's what superheroes games are stupid for. But that is true. They didn't even try. But yeah, see, I think sorry, it was just a stupid scene in a video game. Yeah, I think Pillman's got a gun needs to be on his list because it's something you'll never see again. And there's a lot of things we'll never see again. But you can argue maybe David might try to push the boundaries on this or that. But that is one thing we're never gonna see again. A man breaking into a man's house and then the other guy pulling a gun while his wife is next to him. Yeah, we're never seeing that again. I think Pillman's got a gun to take that last spot.
I think it should be either one of the cash-ins or the Rock's return to me.
Tough, man. Go through that list one more time for me.
All right, the Nexus debut should stay or should leave?
Yeah, I think leave because we only got one spot left.
Leave it.
Leave it.
Wait,
Brian Pillman gun segment.
it did stay
Brock Lesnar's return.
out for me.
It's out for me.
Sting's debut.
Yeah, we could throw it out. If they never announced it, then we might have another story here.
Oh, I think the video game ruined it for me. Like I had a feeling once people were signing video game deals, they're coming back. So
And yeah, video game.
Rock's return in 2011. I think it should stay.
I think it stays.
I think it stays for now.
Ultimate Warrior return in WrestleMania.
See, it doesn't resonate with me. It doesn't really resonate with me personally. So,
But I think it's just different because of my time frame and my era. So I know I'm about to lose out on this one. But I just think he left in 91 in the summer. No one had ever returned back to a company that fast. Like he didn't appear anywhere else really.
and he was gone less than a year later.
Yep.
I would have. I don't know. I think that one should go for me. Looking at the other ones.
That's fine. I'll take my L.
Jericho debut in 2000.
I think it stays.
I think it should stay until next round.
Seth cash in at WrestleMania.
Stays.
Stays.
Edge cash in on John Cena.
Like I said, I think if we got to pick one cash in, Seth beats out Edge.
I'm picking Seth over Edge as well.
All right, I'll take the L on that one. I'll mark it out. All right, let's go back up to Nexus debut.
I like it. That's tough.
It's tough because I really want the Pillman segment to make it, but it's so much. And the thing we ran through the list, we put so
All right,
much
between Nexus debut, Brian Pillman, The Rock, Jericho, and Seth, which one would you cut out of those? One has to go.
Honestly, I'd probably cut. Damn, that's actually hard to think about.
Nexus. Say it again. Nexus.
Nexus Pillman.
Nexus.
Jericho. Nexus Pillman.
Nexus
Jericho.
Pillman, Jericho, The Rock, and Seth Rollins.
You know what? Maybe I think I'm gonna say Jericho for these two reasons. One, wasn't around, and two, like you said, Conrad, with the countdown clock playing Jericho's music, it kind of made it apparent who it was gonna be.
You didn't know back then. Jericho never had an entrance like that until later. Like in WCW, he didn't come out like that. So when you saw that clock, you had no idea. The clock kind of became part of his gimmick afterwards.
That is true.
I'll say this. It's down to Jericho. Take the Nexus out, I think. I think
Yeah.
we're gonna have to eat the L.
I'll go Nexus on that
Okay,
one.
we'll take out Nexus.
Mm-hmm.
Pillman, The Rock, Jericho, and Seth Rollins cashing in.
I'm taking Rollins cashing out next.
Yeah, sorry, Rollins. Even though that was probably, that
The
was
best
a
cash
crazy.
in, but
That's the greatest cash in ever.
Damn. Jericho debut, The Rock or Brian Pillman.
that's tough for me, man, because I'm a fan of all three.
All three of them are crazy, but see, I don't know. Like, I was
I
only
think
around for one.
the Pillman gun thing makes a lot of sense, though. I mean, what do you think of it, Malik? You haven't really said too much about it.
I mean, out of these three, me personally, I'm picking The Rock. This is me.
Honestly, I'm picking Jericho with a 3.
Crazy. I want to say Pillman.
Damn, this is awkward.
Right. Well, Pillman's thing makes sense though when you brought up the whole you'll never see it again because Brian Pillman did a lot of crazy shit on TV back then. The whole grabbing Bobby Heenan by the jacket. You guys can look up all this shit. But you will never in Monday Night Raw history see someone bust out a gun like that. It's not the greatest Raw moment ever, but you're never gonna see something like that again.
Yeah, and also take into account like these were great comebacks, and well, Jericho received his debut, but yeah, and also take this into account. This is another big thing. While Pillman's got a gun. That was so shocking that it shocked the network to the point they had to apologize to USA to stay on TV. That alone holds a lot of weight.
I think, see, I love The Rock, but when I look at shocking, I think you're going to have to say you didn't see it coming. And I think we all as fans always hoped The Rock would come back eventually.
We did.
I didn't
But
think
you never. But it's the thing that you never knew if he would come back. To you know what I mean? But especially for like a match and everything. Like you figure he may come back for like a little segment or something. But like,
right. And that's what I'm going by kind of too at the time. Like, okay, he's going to be the host, but is he going to wrestle?
and then he came. Yeah, then he came back and wrestled Cena in a big. They built it up for a year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, when I think for most people, when he came back, if he was going to wrestle one person, there was only one person he could wrestle that would be big enough. You know what I mean? It was John Cena.
And that's the only
So it was
person.
like,
We
and
wanted.
Triple H would be a big one too. But it's like if he's going to face somebody he's never faced before, it would be John Cena. So I mean, that I don't know. To me, alone, that's I don't know because I didn't see it coming, man. I remember watching it. It's like you never knew what's gonna happen because they said the host, and like you said, they brought up the women's feet before. I was like, who is the female's gonna be the host of WrestleMania? And then you're making guess. I said Trish Stratus. Like that's probably gonna be Trish Stratus or something. You know what I mean? Trish Stratus or something.
If
like
I have to go which moment I went crazier for, it's going to be The Rock.
I went
Jericho-
crazy for The Rock because I wasn't born for the other two.
Jericho shocked me though because I was probably younger back then. In '99, I was like 13. No one knew about Jericho really. I mean, like unless you were on those dirt sheets back then when they just had the boards, nobody knew.
Right. But see, I don't know if people knew about The Rock though either. To be honest. Because people didn't know about Lesnar because they were chanting his name in the crowd. Because I didn't know about it, but like The Rock, I don't think nobody. People didn't know about that. You know what I mean? It's like
No,
when they said there's gonna be a host of WrestleMania, you're kind of like, who? Like who's? What does this mean? Whatever. Then, they had the limo come out and the female came. You're like, oh, whatever. And then Justin Roberts said, the host of WrestleMania, and they had that little electricity thing go on, whatever. And you kind of some people might not even like, oh, what is it? But then they hit that music and he came out. You were like, dude, the crowd went crazy, man. That's one of the biggest pop you ever hear.
I'm willing to take the L on Brian Pillman, but I don't know.
I really think Pillman should be here because I don't think there's a single moment crazier than that one though.
I don't know, man. That's tough, man. Because that Rock debut is epic.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think The Rock one for me holds a little bit more weight for the only simple reason that that's the only one of these three I was actually born for and saw live. Like I saw Jericho and Pillman for the first time on the DVD. I literally watched The Rock's return live.
That's tough, man.
These last three because really all three of them are like
I'll say this too. No matter what we pick, I'm not going to be disappointed. I'm going to just be more hurt that the other two didn't make it.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, out of the three, I think. Let me see. I mean, they're all shocking moments. That's definitely shocking moments. Moments that you never forget. You know what I mean? Out of the three, though, the one I think we should cut probably maybe. I would say the Jericho one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Jericho on that one too.
All right. So it's Pillman or The Rock.
This is tough.
I mean,
because-
Jericho's debut was pretty good. It was pretty epic. You know what I mean? But it's
Yeah,
just
no,
I don't know.
Jericho's
I
debut
think
definitely was. But Jericho's done it so many times too, though. He's came
times,
back.
yeah.
2007 was good. His Royal Rumble debut where he wasn't speaking was great, or not debut, return.
right before the Rumble. Yeah, but then they fucked it over by not having win the Rumble, which is something he should have done.
Well, he turned that down, I believe.
I didn't hear. I heard Vince turned it down because it'd be too obvious.
Yeah. Which
I don't know. I mean, the Rock has come back. The Rock has come back a lot of times too. But this is like a stretch where he was gone for like 8 years. You know what I mean?
No, this was big time though, because you didn't know if he was gonna come back really. Like
And you gotta think he was already Hollywood, but you gotta think too. He never need to come back, bro. Making all that money in Hollywood, successful.
What had the bigger impact, I guess, is Pillman's gun segment or Rock return?
Well, Pillman's gun segment was a big, but you got to look at what the Rock comeback led to though.
Okay, I give you. Well, here's what did both lead to then. Rock's comeback led to him coming in and out. His match with Cena, his match and feud with Cena. Pillman's,
And then you got to think. I think
WWE
wasn't that like wasn't if I'm not wrong? Is that WrestleMania like the highest paid WrestleMania ever, or like up
28
there?
is 28 is 28
No.
is. It is 28 is the highest bar WrestleMania.
No. But I'm talking about when he returned at 27. This is why that part was epic too, though. Him returning was the first time they hit over 1 million buys since WrestleMania 23.
And then 28 broke it.
But then the line starts going down like this year after year, 25, 26. And then all of a sudden, once it gets to 27, the Rocks made it go, boom, you got orders. Even though that Mania sucked.
And it didn't even beat out 23 in terms of buys. 28 did.
But then you got to think 28, bro. The night after they announced they're gonna fight a year ahead of time. That never happened before. Like they never announced the main event of WrestleMania a year before time. You're like, bro, we gotta wait a whole year to see this match.
That's
And,
big.
yeah. Here's one thing Pillman led to. This was one of the first edgy segments that would eventually become what the Attitude Era was about. You can argue in a way this was one of the kickstarts of it. You say it was this. You can say it was this match. It was that moment. You can argue this match. This moment, because I believe it was in '96, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can argue that was one of the big kickstarts because this was before WrestleMania 13's Austin Brett match. This was before SummerSlam when Shawn Brett and Undertaker. This was before the Hell in a Cell, before Montreal. This was for all of that. This was the first real edgy thing you saw in WWE. That's why I think Pillman's Got a Gun is that shocking, because it was so surreal. And then like now, obviously it became commonplace. But even if we never saw a gun on screen, like I think it'd been like shot. Like the biggest thing, you didn't like hear a gunshot. They had heard a gunshot, didn't they go on a commercial? That'd been crazier. But that's why I think Pillman's Got a Gun is so shocking, because of the way it led to the Attitude Era, what it set the framework of what the Attitude Era will become.
I'm gonna propose potentially a veto to something that's on the list. Can you go through the list one more time just to make sure we didn't put something that's suspect on there that shouldn't be there?
Brock ending the streak.
Mm-hmm.
That's on there.
Bret Hart Montreal Screwjob.
That's
I
on
say
there.
it stays.
CM Punk Pipe Bomb.
Yep.
I say stay.
Eric Bischoff debut.
Yep.
That should stay.
Hulk Hogan joins NWO.
Has to.
Seth turns on the Shield.
Mm-hmm.
Shane buys WCW.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stone Cold heel turn at WrestleMania 17.
Mm-hmm.
And Mick Foley gets thrown off the Hell in a Cell.
You know something?
Moment.
All of them are good, but I'm actually, if I had to say one that I'd be willing to veto, I would honestly take Rollins, turn on the Shield off, and put these two on.
I don't know, man. Maybe I was there for that, so man, I don't know.
Yeah, so you're
my moment was different. My moment was a little different. I mean, honestly, I didn't have Stone Cold turning heel on my list, so.
I still think that's such an epic moment. To me, that handshake, that picture, that moment with him with the belt shaking Vince's hand ends the Attitude Era. Like, that's done for me. After that, we were in the Invasion Era, then the Ruthless Aggression after that.
Yeah,
right.
You can. Yeah.
I mean, I get the moment behind it because of the big rivalry they had over the years, and it's just like you
never thought that would happen though. You thought Vince was out there just to be a dumbass to eat the stunner and rock bottom or something.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I don't know though, man. I mean,
here's the worst.
Pillman
and Austin didn't lead to anything though. it never got to the point to where it should have. Some people maybe suggest when Austin first won the title and he fought Dude Love, maybe Pillman could have fit in there, but Pillman passed by then.
That is
Did
a
he
good
pass?
point.
Did he already pass away by then?
He
Yes.
passed. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think he passed before that. As a matter of fact, I think he passed before Austin won the title.
A year he passed before he could see Austin win it.
I actually think he passed away. Like, I might be wrong. Don't quote me. I think it was like the
97.
like right after Hell in a Cell and like Bad Blood.
Yeah.
I think around that time.
Because he was fighting
I don't-
Goldust for Marlena or Terry Reynolds.
I don't know. I don't know. I think the Rock one should be on here. Like I said, you got to think. I don't know. Maybe it's different, but it led to one of the biggest matches we ever seen. And it's just something. I don't know. It's just like the Rock was in Hollywood
Here's
making
what I'll
all
say
this.
about it. To me, I think Pillman's is more shocking because that's the word, shocking. Pillman's is more shocking, but Rock's led to better business and et cetera, because if we're going by better business, then Austin shouldn't be on there.
Yeah, that's true. And
Right.
and I guess in terms of better business, like I'm looking at it as like Pillman's and Austin with the gun. That was the height of the feud. They never really went anywhere. But you can still argue that led to better business because that led to the Attitude Era, which is the best business they have ever and will ever do. So you can say that led to better business too. Granted, that
That's
wasn't
true,
like the
too.
catalyst for the Attitude
But you
Era.
gotta-
That was the first real like
Another-
segment he felt was Attitude Era worthy.
Another thing you got to think is that the Rock's making all this money in Hollywood, so it's like did you ever think he was gonna come back? And he's like, oh, I mean, he might come back for it, but it's like I don't know, man. I don't know. I never thought. I honestly never thought he was gonna come back for a match. I mean, I thought he may come back for like a ceremony or something like that, for like a big Raw or something like that. But I didn't think he was ever gonna come back and wrestle because he's making all this money in Hollywood. It's like, bro, you gonna take a chance to get injured or something like that in the ring?
Which happened.
Making all
Which
this
he
money.
did get injured.
Which it did happen. Yeah, it did happen. They had to push back G.I. Joe because of that.
No, G.I. Joe came out. Wait. G.I. Joe already finished making.
No, they had to push back. I think it was Hercules or something like that. Maybe it was Hercules or something like that.
I would say
They
G.I.
pushed back
Joe
the movie.
came out literally right after WrestleMania, so they had
Yeah,
to
I think it
push
was
back G.I.
Hercules.
Joe.
I think it might have been Hercules. They had to push a movie back, whatever. And that's why that's probably why he hasn't wrestled since. Like, because he got hurt that time. So it's like, man, I might want to come back, but it's like,
See, I think I always had a feeling Rock would come back, but I think what made this was shocking was they had a lot of big draws that Rock wasn't there for. Like I remember they had like the 15th anniversary in 2007, and my mother and my father and I watched it together, and we all agreed the one person that wasn't there was The Rock. And I think when Rock eventually did come back, it was a crazy moment. It does help that I actually saw it live, but it's hard because I like Rock's more because that's one of my favorite guys. But Pillman's is more shocking because of how real that felt.
I don't know. Did you really feel like he was gonna shoot Stone Cold though on TV?
But the way it was acted and the way Pillman was talking, you really believe he might have shot him.
And have you ever seen the segment, Malik?
Have you seen the segment, Malik?
Yeah, I've seen the segment many times.
So the pistol gets fired off, and then it cuts to black. You don't know what happened, so they left you kind of in a,
What happened?
what happened? Because you heard, the gun went off, and there's a bunch of people in the house, so you're like, someone got shot probably, but you didn't know, and they left you kind of with that soap opera. Did I say that right? Whatever.
Yeah, I guess.
They left you with that feeling like, what the hell just happened? And you have to wait until a whole week later to find out back then.
No, it did. That's the only problem is that it should have ended the show. I think it came back off commercial. It should have ended the show that night.
I
That
think it
should have
ended
been ultimate
when I
cliffhanger.
watched it live. I could look it up to see.
I think. I mean, it's tough, man. It's tough. Is there anyone on the list that you wanted to veto off? Going back to the list.
No, I thought there would be, but I don't see anything on there that could get vetoed off.
I don't know. We might have to flip a coin for this one because this one is hard. You want to flip a coin for it?
Thank you.
Hold on, I'm looking this up.
And this is the hardest one because really both of them deserve to be on this list, but they're both of them are important for WWE's business. But damn, I can't decide. Like, I think we should flip a coin. Honestly, this is too hard.
Hold on, I'm looking at What Culture, 10 Things You Didn't Know. It was Bruce Pritchard's idea.
Wait, what comes to the top 10 things you didn't know about that segment?
10 Things You Didn't Know About this segment. USA Network pre-approved the angle.
I thought they had to apologize for it.
They probably said it was okay until it happened. It took place during the first Raw to air at 8 p.m. Eastern. because of WCW Nitro.
That's true.
Comes back into that again. Ratings spike nearly tying Nitro before falling off. Apparently, the angle was too dramatic for younger viewers as they tuned out of Raw and tuned into Nitro.
So it kind of hurt them that night, but helped in the long run.
And F-Bomb made the original podcast.
I know that. I know what F-Bomb made.
All right, so we gotta make a vote. Gotta make a vote between two. I want everybody to think about it just for a minute. Just think about it. Just think about it, really, just in your head for a minute. What moment is more shocking? Not which moment you like better. More shocking to you? Like, all right, like which moment did you pop for bigger? I mean, obviously, me and Carmen went around for that age, but
here's the funny thing, Malik. I like Rocks more, but I think Pillman's more shocking. So that's my whole thing. I like Rocks more, but Pillman's is more shocking to me. What about you, Conrad? What do you think?
Did not know that either. Sorry. I got caught up in reading about Pillman because dude, this is so tough, man. Like, I love that Rock segment too, though, because it was perfectly done to fool people for the current times. But shocking. Is it shocking? That's like the word that I keep coming back to.
I mean, in that moment, take yourself back to that moment when it happened. Like your reaction, like
I'm like nuts and hype, but see, the difference is you're looking at two different type of reactions. Though with Pillman, I'm kind of more like, oh dang.
I think with Rocks, like, yeah, I agree with that one thing. Like with Rocks, I was more happy and excited. I was shocked. It was more happy and excitement to see, one of my favorite guys ever back. With Pillman, first time I saw it, once it was on the DVD, that was nothing but shock. As in, like, I was watching
I think
that.
the reaction thing is a good point though, because when I saw Pillman's, like I said, my reaction is this. Versus when I saw the Rocks for the first time, I'm like, hell yeah, the Rock's back. And it worked. But I think this would be on my top 10 returns, maybe.
Oh, easily top 10 return.
But I'm thinking like shocking. Pillman may win out. I don't know. I can go back and forth on all these.
I can go back and forth, but like I said, with Rock, I was, and of course, I was alive to see Rock. So I wasn't there for Pillman. But for seeing Rock, I was just happy, excited. Pillman's like literally, I was like. So, I mean, what do you think, Malik? You asked me to come up with what do you think? What do you think, Malik?
You know what, Malik? What do you think? Come on.
I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. The whole Pillman thing was shocking, but it's like, I don't know. I mean, I never believed he was going to shoot the man on TV because it's live television. So obviously, but I mean, it was like he put out a gun though. So I was like, bro, he put out a gun on Stone Cold, and Stone Cold was crazy. And then so it was like Stone Cold was like, shoot me, man, shoot me. So he's doing all this crazy stuff. But it's like you never believed that I just never believed he was going to actually shoot the guy on national television. I mean, like on TV.
I guess it's so different though for you guys compared to me though, because I watched it live and I'm like, yo, he might shoot this dude on TV because you didn't know back then. Like that wasn't off limits. It was just like, is this real or what's going on right now?
But you gotta think though, man, he gonna shoot him. He gonna kill a man on TV though.
But back then, a lot of people still thought wrestling is it real? Like it was the ECW time period. Like certain things felt real.
Right.
Real.
But you talking about taking a man's life though, man. Come on now, shooting a guy on TV.
I'm a kid.
Hey, he injured him and then broke into his house a week later when his wife was there. I mean.
Still, but we talking about killing somebody though, bro. We talking about shooting a man and killing him, bro.
So Malik, you tell me
on TV, on national TV,
then breaks into your house. You're on one leg while your wife and kids are there. You're not pulling a gun if you have one.
But you know it's different. It's different. It's different though. If it's not scripted, no. Obviously, I'm gonna shoot the guy if it's not scripted. But if you're talking about, we know.
No one knew it was scripted back then, Malik. This was early. This is a little bit, I think, like before, right after the curtain call.
This is before you're all super smart. This is way before super smartness. You're just watching the show to watch it.
Right.
There's no Jim Cornette telling you, like, there's no way a girl's going to show her chest on TV. You didn't think like that back then. You're like, yo, this is live TV. Anything can happen on live TV. That's how the bomb got dropped. You
and
didn't.
that's what.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what makes it.
I see the point of it, but it's
live.
still, bro. It's like I understand that. No, it's like it's different areas because this was in '96, this was in 2011. You know what I mean, so it's two different type of scenarios. But it's like
Guerrero had his heart attack. Did you believe he really had a heart attack?
Yes.
no, I didn't know.
I was 5, so I believed anything.
But I mean, I think she really did. I heard that Bruce Prichard on the probably she really did have a heart attack though.
That's what I'm saying though. So you don't know. Like it's weird. You don't know sometimes. Like,
But that was planned. That was planned though. You know what I mean? But it was like I think it was planned. But I think she didn't really have a heart attack though. Like she had a minor heart attack or something like that.
no,
Because
no.
like
Eddie Guerrero's even like stuff like that where they're in the ring or someone had like.
I think you're talking about Eddie Guerrero's mother. The host of Eddie Guerrero's mother.
I'm gonna come back to a famous one for me. Owen Hart and Shawn Michaels. Did you guys ever see the match where Shawn falls to the ground?
Yes, I did see that.
That was so well done. It fooled me.
I said, hey.
Back in the ring, you never thought someone would get hurt and die. Owen Hart insecurity Shawn in his head, and then Shawn like recovers from the match. He does this like he's getting fired up. Then all of a sudden, you're like, "Yo, what just happened?" And then,
Yeah, I remember first time I saw. I didn't know what was going on either. I just remember like Owen hit Enziguri on Shawn. Shawn threw Owen out of the ring, hit the pose, and then just felt it, grabbed his face and just collapsed. And you had King and McMahon leave the announce table. They hooked Shawn up to the oxygen mask and all that. Now, mind you, I watched this on the DVD. So once again, it's not the same as if I watched it live. But even then, I'm like, wait, what happened to Shawn? What was wrong? Like, it's those type of moments you have to see live to get. And like I said, the first.
I mean, moments like that are shocking. Moments like that are shocking too. Like when people, you never know if superstars are really hurt or not. Like, is he really hurt? Is he really not hurt? Because sometimes you can never tell. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you never really know if they're hurt. If they're really hurt. Like the whole one of my favorite angles is when they did the whole
I'll call next.
when they did the Shawn Michaels knee injury when they were leading up to him and Chris Jericho and the whole knee injury. And it was like, oh, Shawn hurt? Is he not hurt? Whatever. Because he was selling that so good, bro. He was like, is he really hurt? Is he not hurt? Those I don't know. Those things are always good too. But it's like, I don't know, man. The whole Brian Pillman thing, it's shocking, definitely. But I don't know, bro. Even if I was watching back then, I feel like you're not gonna convince me that you're gonna shoot a man on TV, bro.
That's just different.
I think the Rock one has more chance to make it on a best returns list than Brian. This would probably be the only list Brian Pillman can make.
Yeah, and like here it just comes down to this. And I think we know which one Malik's favors, but Conrad, this train with me and you. First time you saw it, which one were you more shocked by? I was more excited for Rock. I was more shocked by Pillman. I like Rock's more.
That's the key. Like I said before, that's the key thing. It's about the wording kind of with it.
He didn't. Yeah. Like I said, Malik. I mean, I like both of them, but I'm going with Pillman. I'm going with Pillman on this.
Yeah, I think I gotta go with Pillman. I love
Kyrie.
moment though. Like I feel terrible right now saying no to Rock. Like this is the worst I felt since Andre the Giant. Like, and Malik remembers how bad I felt in that first episode when I first ever appeared on the podcast. Like
I wasn't here for that one.
Yeah, that was bad. Like we were going at it over who was in this top 10.
He's in my top 10 though, but I mean, I just figured he wasn't gonna make it. So, especially when it came down to when he was sitting there, I think he was sitting there like three people, like three people.
Yeah, it was like crazy. It was like Foley.
It was like I think the last one was like Andre.
It was but
Foley
those
or something
left like Foley, Savage, Andre, and it was just nuts.
Kurt Angle and a lot of people. Yeah. All right, we got our 10 list now. We have number 10. We have Brock Lesnar ends the streak. Bret Hart Montreal Screwjob. CM Punk Pipe Bomb. Eric Bischoff debut. Hulk Hogan joins NWO. Seth Rollins turns on the Shield. Shane buys WCW. Stone Cold turns heel at WrestleMania 17. Mick Foley gets thrown off the Hell in a Cell, and the Brian Pillman gun segment. I'm winning that wrong.
That was, I think that's a good list. That was a hard list to put together because it's so many moments we probably didn't bring up that can make this list that we probably didn't bring up. But
yeah, that's probably a lot.
Yeah.
And it's like we're done.
Solid. It's a solid list. I'm cool. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with the list. It's solid. All right. Make sure you guys go subscribe. We'll go let these guys start their channels right here. We'll start with Kyra and then we'll go to Conrad.
You know who I am. You know where to find me. Follow me on Twitter /BroKyron. My Instagram /Bro_Kyron. My Tumblr DeviantArt Kyron Chase. YouTube account Kyron Chase. You know I do videos on wrestling, so on the Hedgehog, My Point for Magic. And tomorrow will be the official return to my channel when I review Money in the Bank. Which I'll be reviewing that tomorrow night, and the video will go up after the fact. So be on the lookout for that.
And Conrad Cushman here from Everything Pro Wrestling. I also will have a review of Money in the Bank on my channel tomorrow, so make sure you come through and check that out as well. You guys can find me on Twitter at EPW Show, and I just put out an episode on Brainbuster Radio today. I interviewed MLW referee Doug Markham. Great interview, talking some old school pro wrestling. Had a lot of fun. And shout out to Brainbuster Radio, who got retweeted today by All Elite Wrestling. I just found out when we were doing this. I didn't want to mention that in the beginning, but so that Wrestle Thoughts one that just happened before with the whole match with, well, you guys will read about it on the internet. I won't get too deep into it, with Adam Page and Pac.
All right.